Hey, what's good? Pugs Atomz is a painter, muralist, designer, documentarian, radio host, and musician. Renaissance man is almost an understatement to the talents this man brings to the table. He does all of that and organizes other creative folks to deliver on a wide array of creative projects, from albums all the way up to the Englewood Art Collective. Cefore Explosives joins me in this conversation with Pugs Atomz. Before we get into it, remember to go to coconutjustice.com to get you some clothes that I think would look good on you. Let's go. Hey, everybody. I am so excited because this is one of the most creative people I have ever seen, I have ever bumped into in my life. Pugs Atomz is here, everybody. Hey, Pugs.
Woohoo!
Yeah, well, the budget for the live studio audience, we're working on that. All the fucking bells and whistles and stuff, we're working on that.
We're getting there.
Soon come.
Yeah, and that voice over there, everybody, you know him, you love him. That's C4 Explosives.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. Oh, Pugs, I'm so excited for this interview, man. Good to chop it up with you.
Or same.
Yeah,
So do you usually do the show with Carlos or no?
When I can,
it depends.
when I can
When
break
when
it
he's
in.
not
Okay.
when he's not when he's not being a good dad.
Okay. So it's like he's a guest host on
I'm the
this
guy
Yeah,
on the
occasion.
couch.
Gotcha.
I'm the guy on the couch. I chop
yeah,
it up.
yeah. And when I'm not cutting him off.
I get used to it though.
Pugs, man. You came out with Smoker's Jacket, and I could not stop playing this album, son.
Ah, that's awesome. That's the hopes. I mean, it's made in the sense of a mixtape where you just let it
Yeah.
go instead of this is the single, etc. And the majority of the songs are like songs that we just will perform or play around with all the time.
Hmm.
So, it's a lot of fun, good times, love, and
I'm gonna
friendship,
put a
family
link.
in there.
I'm gonna put a link to the album in the description of this video because you guys have to listen to it. The one that I can't get enough of is number 5. Let's move.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Let's
that's a
move
joint.
is so dope.
Yeah, Dario did his thing, man. Dario did his thing. And then it was funny because like recording it, I was just like, yo, just be like the overzealous DJ through the whole joint under me doing my part. And that's like, huh? I was like, nah, the whole thing. Just do the whole thing. And then yeah, it came out cool.
That's like the soundtrack to my teenage years. And then I just
Oh
lost it
yeah,
when my
you were
man
getting it
said,
in.
pass the toilet paper, pass the toilet paper. I was like, oh,
You got to make sure it's Chicago, right? You know.
oh, this album is nothing but.
Who's
What
who's
was
all
it
who's
that
all
got,
producing on there?
Well, Waffle King, he produces some of the stuff. DJ Allo, he produces a nice majority as well. And then you got Dario X on that one record, and then you got Selfish on the first song, You Can't Find Me. And Kenny Keys, yeah, Kenny Keys is on there getting it
I
in,
love me some Kenny
and
Keys,
Dr.
man.
Mindbender, yeah,
hmm
yeah. So all the homies, man. So I mean,
And
over the
listen,
course like 2009 to I think 2014. All those songs were recorded. Yeah.
damn, that's a, that's a long time. But like, unless you make music, well, actually, first, let me give you props for the number 1 track, You Can't Find Me. That is the perfect table setting. You play that, you know what you're in for.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to me, I think like with albums, it's like you gotta clean the palette before people taking your joint. Otherwise, you're gonna just make it the comparison thing. Like this sounds like, or this is reminiscent of. You must have been listening to.
Mm.
So I
Yeah,
usually try to pick like the Wilder record to kick it
yeah,
off.
yeah. It's perfect because that it. That first song puts me in such a good mood, and it just keeps getting better and better. And then when you get to, I'm telling you, when you get to Let's Move, you already dancing, you already going. It's such a good time.
Okay, Coconut Justice with the moves. Okay, okay.
Oh, you must not have heard, son.
I didn't know. I didn't
I
know.
used to be on a dance crew when I was in the
Mm.
army. When I was in the army,
What
I
was the
hung out
crew?
with.
What was the crew called?
I don't even remember. We were the 84th Yusuf United States Army Field Artillery Detachment,
Oh,
and I
okay.
don't know if we ever came up with the name. But I was hanging out with. There was not a lot of people from Chicago in my platoon, but then once my boy Gerald showed up, Gerald was like a spinning top. We could not sit his ass down. And then
Mm.
just building off of that, we just started hanging out. We went clubs together, and then we started dancing together. Then we started practicing together. Then we started battling together. And
Fine. So y'all just
yeah,
battling on the base, or like when you guys would go for a little R and R?
we were in Germany, and we'd go all over the place. We heard that there was a
Oh,
cool
okay.
dance spot. We'd go there, and we just get it going.
You turn that shit into hip hop West Side Story.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
do do dee do 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 with a little
We
scratch
are
at
the
the end.
bets.
Yeah. Anyway, your album just doesn't do anything to me but bring positive vibes. It's such a good time.
Man, that's what's up, man. That's definitely the goal of it. Is trying to capture what we do in a live show.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, the you got the track with Wes Restless on there, man. I remember we did a couple of shows with Wes and Dynamic Vibrations back in the day. Super talented dude, man. The crew was super dope, man. What's it like working with Wes?
I mean, I've been working with Wes since probably 2007 or 8.
Also
So I
back, yeah, back
mean,
back
it's just
then,
like
yeah.
kicking it with my homies. You know what I mean? He was just always interested in my process, and I mean, I was always just cool with him, doing his effects because I mean that's what you know Wes for when he's
Mhm.
engineering. Like he's definitely gonna go kind of crazy with the delay and try out the new toys and see how it fits in the music. But I mean, he's one of those people where it's like if you need a singer on the record, that's the guy. Like he's definitely gonna nail it. But I mean, initially it was just for me to do a song for him, I believe, like
Mhm.
for maybe his first album or second album.
Mm.
And then from there, we just kept, getting up on occasion. And then when I was, proposed to do the group thing with him and Illy, because like I was recording at Illy's house as well, and then recording at Wes's house as well. And then I found out they both were, working with each other too. I was man, we might as well just make that a group, man, and run
Hell
it.
Mhm.
yeah, that's dope.
And then we
That's
became
so
the
dope.
Gents.
The Gents was the name of your group.
Yeah, yeah. So it was like, what was our tagline? Briefcase rap. We've abandoned the backpack. Yeah, because we used to dress up in suits and
That's
super
dope.
Ivy Leaguey, prep schoolish,
When
khakis
people
in abundance, ties, bow ties, all that. Yeah.
when people say backpack rappers, can you explain to folks that are listening the difference between backpack rapper versus, I guess, a gangster rapper versus storytellers?
Well, I think a backpack rappers just depend on who's saying it. I mean, as most terms here, they've all been bastardized. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
originally backpack rap was kind of like true school rap. That's what I would define it as. And I mean, I do a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
But in this sense, we were more talking about like the image, in the sense of like we didn't look like it would be on Raucous Records. Now, when
Mm-hmm.
you listen to it, it may have some elements of it, but the packaging was like the play,
Yeah, you're a
and
little
then
cleaned
just
up.
yeah, And then also just the perspective, because a lot of the stuff was kind of more about manners and, sliding that into the slick conversation to the lady at the party. And then also spaces. Like, I mean, one of my favorite things that we did as a group was one of our major music videos. We were able to get like, what was that, maybe 15, 20 people into the Sybaris to film this whole mockumentary of the group. It was just
The
so sick. We did it for
Severus.
Vimby. Yeah, it was
For
so
those
slick,
that
man. Our
don't know what the
manager.
Cefore is.
Please explain what the Severus is.
So the Cerberus, in our high school days, was this place you would see commercials for, and it was for like couples. And usually, it's one of those things where it's just you and the person you're going with. That's it. But usually you got a water slide, indoor pool, sauna, some huge bed. It's
and
you
it
know,
was
it's
me-
it's
and it
it's
was meant to
it's for
it was
mating
meant to
season. It's definitely for mating
yeah,
season.
yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be all these like slightly raunchy commercials. The Cerberus. I found like they had T-shirts and everything. Like, when I took a deep dive because I was using their logo for something else, some art stuff, and I was just like, oh wow, they had gear. It was going up. But
A
I
nice
mean, that
little
was the
white robe.
fun. Yeah, all of that, all of that. I mean, it's if anybody could find that video, let me know because it has all those things in it. All those. I think I even get measured for a suit in the joint. Yeah, yeah. And Audacity is hilarious in it, man, because he's like the the documentary announcer, I guess, the host kind of, but
Yeah.
he's playing both sides of it like he's in the group, but he's not in the group. Yeah, but nah, that was such a moment, man. It's so dope.
I
But we
try to
did like
explain.
three albums. Yeah.
You did 3 albums at the Sybaris?
No, 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 no. I'm saying the group. We did like three
Oh,
projects. Yeah.
okay.
I'll say that gets expensive.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think we could probably sneak in the way we did the first time. Like I think that was like the 18 moment, and you just hold that. I mean, the craziest part though wasn't even the service. The craziest part was our manager at the time. He had got, I think, 100 bottles of champagne, and just for the video. And then he returned a
Damn.
hundred bottles of champagne after we were done. I was like, dude, you are a bad man. Like the skills,
No, no, don't open those. Don't open those. Those are props.
Uh,
And then I was
Jews
like, yo, what
or
did you say
Oscars
when you
was
returned
upset.
it? No, no, he said, yo, I told him, the wedding's off.
That's
This
it.
looks
Perfect.
sad.
You got a little crying and shit in the back.
Yeah, it's like you can't
Business
argue
was
with that.
like
You can't argue
bullshit.
with that. But I mean, that goes back to the ethos. To me, that's the golden era book bag, make it anyway, anyhow. I mean, like I remember like when we would be making cassettes, some of my homies would go buy like 100 cassette players, recorders, and then take them joints back after they recorded their albums. I mean,
Yep.
do or die. You got to make it happen. Yeah.
I used to
Yeah.
work at Circuit City, and when CD burners came out, man, we ate that shit up.
Listen.
We had them all lined up in the back, like like we
You
gonna
were
sell some
making
CD
tapes
burners?
on the
No.
job?
Oh yeah, we
You
were
were
working at Circuit City, man. We had that whole we would unbox them, sell them as open box. Like we were grimy, dog. It was
See,
good.
I had
Allegedly.
like a whole
Allegedly.
CDR business out the crib, man. I was making people's albums. I was, doing the duplication. I was doing the album covers. I was doing the hosting. But I only had one CD burner. I didn't even have a CD burner. My roommate had a CD burner. But man, I definitely maxed that boy out. I remember the day it died. It was so sad. It was like we have
The
to get like a
hustle was real
four
though.
four four CD joint now. Yeah. I mean, that was such a sweet time. I mean, I could go like
Yeah.
to the majority of the stores and get paid up front and then come back in like 2 weeks and, repeat the process. It was sweet, man.
That's so dope. Were you the kind of kid that would get your ass whipped because you wouldn't sit down?
Nah, nah.
No.
I was
Was your
so like
was
in
your
my vibes, man. You know what I mean? Like I was a kid where it's like if I got on punishment and I'm in my room, awesome. I'm
Right?
cooking in my room. You know what I mean? I'm in
Everybody's gonna
my
leave me
black
alone.
book
Sign me up.
making stuff. I'm creating figures. I'm trying to record songs. I was always about my my artistic side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that or imagination, I'm gone
Was
with
your
it.
were your parents supportive of that?
Yeah, my mom was like a painter, and my dad he was a radio DJ when I was first born out in what's that in Pittsburgh. And then
Mm.
when we moved here, my dad and my mom would, they were pretty into seeing me as a painter. Like my dad would drive me
Mm.
to college almost every day in my freshman year as I got acquainted, with downtown a little bit more.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, my mom still is at, all my openings and, the support. I mean, without them, I probably wouldn't have done any of these things. I probably just been a draftsman, architect. That's what
Yeah.
I went to high school for. Well, I should say that's what I was really into in high school.
Yeah. Me too, but I had a terrible teacher in Roosevelt. I wanted to be an
Mm-hmm.
architect, and he was just such an asshole. I was like, nope, I got to be done with this. Nope.
Dang, you ruined it.
Yeah.
What's his name?
He was. I don't
Go find him.
remember. I don't remember, but he. This was probably one of the more constructive things that he said. He said the benefit of being a doctor over being an architect is that a doctor can bury his mistakes. An architect has to look at it for the rest of his life.
Oh damn!
Bury your mistake. That's pretty dark, man.
Wow.
Yeah. And then after that,
That's a
like
tough
he was
teacher,
just
man. He told you that.
mean.
You're like 14. You're like, huh?
Huh. I'm excited. I'm using a triangle and a compass. I was like, no,
Nah.
I don't. If everybody's like this, I don't want to do it.
It's
Yeah.
crazy how teachers, how vital teachers are, and how like to and how
And
fragile
supportive
you're
parents.
how fragile it is for you. Like like for that dream, if someone sways the wrong way, like oh, you could bury your you could bury your mistakes. Well, maybe I might want to go be a doctor. All of a sudden you're like Dexter and shit. Um,
It could get dark. It could definitely get dark. But
did
nah, I
Pug?
loved it so much, man. Like just because it was such a connection to graffiti for me in doing drafting.
Mm.
Like it really changed my perspective of how I would make a piece. You know what I mean? Because now it's like I know perspective, I know 3D now, and it's just
Hmm.
like every day we're practicing that. And then I just started doing my graffiti stuff in the class. And then when we got to start building stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it.
Yeah.
Then
Were
they
you in
took it out of
Chicago
the
when you
school.
got into graffiti?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I would see graffiti since an early age. Like in
Yeah.
Philly, like I would go there some summers because that's where my mom is from. And see the different graffiti like on some of the rooftops and in the neighborhood. But in Chicago is where like I really met writers. But I mean, around like that seventh, eighth grade, that's when I started to get my feet wet and play around with names. And we had a little crew at school. But it was this guy, Crazy Man GBC. I would see his stuff like when we first came to Inglewood. This is like 81, 82, maybe 83. And I just saw his stuff, and I don't know why it resonated with me, but it was just the name, and then the colors were cool. But he had a lot of like fill-in type pieces, around the Green Line near Halsted. So I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, yeah, I would say that would probably be the start of me into graffiti. But I mean, it's just something I just always was drawn to. Like I mean, I would be sketching and trying to write my name, but I didn't even know what it was. You know what I mean? I just knew
Hmm.
it looked like this. You know what I mean? So I
Hmm.
just was making stuff in that vein until later I met like who was that? Raven and Zora, and my
Mm.
mom had introduced me to them. And Raven gave me a couple tips on how to freak it no matter your color scheme. And that stuff really it stayed with me. But going to Kenwood, there was a lot of graffiti writers there. So when I got there, I felt somewhat at home. In the sense of
Hmm.
like I've been looking for this scene. Now I'm seeing parts of the scene. And then like towards like my junior senior year, I ran into a Terror Dome meeting with Shyrock over there by the Museum of Science and Industry.
Mm.
And then that like opened me up like, okay, so it's like all throughout the city, it's these different crews and different people. And I started to know like Teal and know Soki and kids from MUL, etc. It's like really started to broaden my scope of Chicago hip hop. Because up until that point, it was just really Kenwood, and then the people I knew in Inglewood that were in the hip hop.
So
What around what time frame was that?
So this is like 93, 94, 95.
Okay. Okay.
Because 93 is when I picked the name Pugs. And I was like, all right, that's yeah, that's how we rocking.
What how did that come around?
I was sitting with what was her name? Cupid. I was sitting with Cupid, another writer.
Hmm.
And we were at Gallery 37 in the summer program because that was another place where like I got to meet a lot of people from all around the city that were into hip hop or rapping or breaking, etc. But we
Hmm.
were just doing letters, doing our graffiti alphabets because I was trying to
mm,
pick a name that nobody had because when you first start, every name you pick is somebody else's name. I was
Yeah.
like Clue. I was played for a couple of weeks. I was Ah man, just whatever sounded good I could write easily. But anyway, when doing the alphabets, like we were just looking at my alphabets and we are like, ah man, these letters S, U, G, P, V, man, these like your best letters. You should try to make a name out of that. And then from there, I was, kept Scrabble boarding, and then I was like, Pugs Lee. I was like, oh, let's do that, let's do that. And then, I was super into like the KRS-One school of rapping and, doing
Yeah.
the knowledge and everything's
Yeah.
got to mean something. So I was like, all right, please
mhm.
understand graffiti saves lives. And then it's like Pug is the shape of Mo, SL, save the lost, abbreviation in the Webster's, double E, one who does something. And then it's kind of like, with my crew, that's who I was. I was like, wow, that works. That super
Yeah.
works. And then it was
That's
solid after that. It was up. It was all
It
up.
was good. Once you got the name down,
it's
you're straight.
such a unique name. I love it. And it's
Well, that
awesome
was
that
the thing.
you saw it. It wasn't anything that anyone said, is that you saw it. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, it felt good because now I had an original thing, as
Hmm.
opposed to before where it's just like, oh, okay, comb. That looks cool. Let me try that. Yeah.
And this is back in the time where everyone was trying to be unique. Like you, if
Mhm.
you were a rapper, you
Well, you
wanted to
had to be
sound different.
unique. You had to be unique. It was no
Yeah.
way you could carbon copy anything, which made talent shows very entertaining in that time
Yeah.
because, people would definitely boo you, but also it would just be so diverse and like
Hmm.
people performing one after another. Like everybody had their vibe to a point, to a point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, I mean, it
That
was more regional, because it was like all you had was a magazine that showed one picture but really didn't give you the full scope. Yeah.
So when
yeah.
did you start? When did you pick up the mic at that point?
Well, I mean, my mom had showed me pictures. I had the mic since I was like 3. I would be trying it out, But I mean, my dad, since he was a DJ and he had like very deep record crates, like he just always would play music, explain music, point out things in music, So I mean, it was coming. It was really coming. There was no way
Yeah.
for me not to growing up in a time where this is the new thing. But then my cousin Seagram around like maybe I was like maybe 9, 10, 11. He really was into breaking and rapping. And I mean, he was starting to, do shows and stuff like that, but he was just really good. Like he used to be able to beatbox out of
Mm.
his neck while doing a verse. So sick,
Oh,
so sick. So I mean, from watching him, I was like, I definitely need to figure this out. Because before we were just all breaking in my family. Like we just, they come by the crib, we're in the backyard on my patio, break dancing at Inglewood, trying to figure it out. But him doing that, I was like, okay, I think I got it now. And then like I started to get tapes. I think my first tape was one of those Maxwell House or BMI joints my
Yeah.
auntie had got me, 99 cents. You get 10, 5 tapes or something. But
Still on
I
money for
got,
that.
I'm sure everybody owns. I mean, that's why they went out of business. Couldn't
Yeah.
keep that demand up.
Yeah.
But I had got. It was only one rap tape. I'll never forget this because I got Madonna, I got Michael Jackson, and some other random rock and roll thing. And the only rap tape they had was Houdini's Open Sesame. So that was like my first rap
Yeah.
tape. So I mean, you can imagine you owning this piece of thing that you've been trying to get. You know, you're trying to own
Yeah.
it. Because before then, I had like 45s, but I had 45s of like the Jets, 45s, Jacksons. Just
Hmm.
random, just cool music that I heard. So it's like I don't know what Houdini is talking about. I like it, but they're definitely like adult situations they're rapping about. So it wasn't probably until like Far Side and then hearing
Yeah.
De La Soul is Dead, where I started to see me more in
Hmm.
Yeah.
rap. I
Yeah.
was super EPMD fan, super KRS-One fan, but again, they're all kind of dealing a little bit more heavyweight adult life stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my
And of
first one
course,
was
Fresh Prince and Jazzy, I was rocking with them too. Yeah.
oh yeah,
Oh,
my
hell
first one
yeah.
was Digital Underground. Sex Packets was my first like the first one that somebody gave me, said you need to listen to this, and I'm like, all right. And after that, it was a wrap.
Yeah. Now, Sex Packers, that was an interesting time for Digital Underground because I remember like seeing interviews about the album before I heard the album.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, you having to use your imagination of this
Yeah,
idea that they're pushing. Then you actually hear it, and you're like, oh, wow, yeah, it works. It's pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah. Shock G was definitely one of the ones, man. Like I love
Yeah.
the first two albums, man. I was sold. I was definitely sold because I
he
liked
was
it
a
to be
creative
entertaining.
man.
Yeah, and I mean, it was like again, I was a big fan of Ice Cube, but
Yeah.
Digital Underground kind of hit other places that reminded me of like the funk records my dad would play me.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I had more of a relationship to it.
They brought a certain level of fun because, well, my introduction to or my addiction to hip hop was in the era when Two Live Crew and like NWA had come out, and it's hard to get my mom to listen to or buy me a tape. And old boy's yelling about, "Hey, give me some pussy." My mom was like, "Hell no, you go to church."
Nah, the
Stop
first
throwing
rap
water on me.
album I played for my mom, and at the point I told her like I'm gonna do rap. I really want to rap. I was probably like a junior, and I played a Low End Theory, and we
Mm.
Yeah,
sat there and listened to the whole thing front to back. And then she
nice.
was she was cool with it, and then I'm like, yeah, that's definitely on my list of things I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "This
Awesome.
is the one, Two Life Crew." He's talking about uh, pussy, and then the follow up is "fuck the police." My mom is like, "What in the fuck is happening to you?"
You're going to the army.
Yeah.
No,
That's always the answer.
going
You
to
go
the
into the
army was
army.
my idea. That was my idea. I was tired of being poor.
But Uncle Luke had a party in Chicago in Hyde Park. I'll never forget that. At the athletic club there. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that. I was just like, wow. I was like, hip hop is everywhere. This is crazy.
Uncle
yeah.
Luke is running for Congress.
You see that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he been there. I mean, like whenever you hear his interviews or him talking about the times in Florida and all that, he's very aware. So I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And we all got to
Funny
grow.
guy.
We all got to go where our gifts, open us up to. Because even with
Exactly.
Prime, that was perfect for him. That was right
Hmm.
up his alley, man. Every job I knew him to
Yeah.
have, he was the manager in a matter of weeks. And he was a people
And it's
person,
good to see him out there. It's good to see him fighting through old boy that he finally beat, and he's just out there in the streets.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that suits him. Like, when he was pursuing rap, me and him together, like, he was on the streets, trying to get the people in the same, to hear us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
I did a cipher with Prime. We did a battle at Prime at the Wow here, and he had another dude with him, and it was the three of us. It was like, all right, three of you got a battle. I'm like, like what? This doesn't even make sense. So then they all ganged up
Yeah,
on me
that
because I
happened a lot.
wasn't his homie. I'm like, bro, come on, man. So at that time, I wasn't too fond of Prime, but I appreciated I appreciated him for what he had done. You know what I'm saying? But at that moment, I was like, man, this dude right here. But
But that was the
nah, he
job.
had
I
that
mean, that's
killer
the
in him.
thing. I did not know,
Uh,
but that's the thing people don't get about the battle culture in that sense and in that time. Like the whole thing was to expose you. It was not for us to be cool. It was like I'm gonna show you why I'm the best, and I brought all
Oh
my
yeah,
friends to reinstate
yeah.
this fact. You know,
yeah. He rode deep, man.
so you
I
can't
was
take
always
it.
the
You can't
dude.
take it personal.
Nah, man. I was the dude with the backpack showing up by my damn self, and then he rode 50 deep, and I'm like, well, all right, I get it.
You gotta have numbers, man. I mean, that's the thing. Like before our time, it was the talent show time, and at those talent shows, if you didn't
Yeah.
bring a group of people, you lost. It didn't matter how great you were, you lost.
Automatic.
Unless it was some dudes
Yeah.
singing R&B or a dance group. Yeah, but yeah, you lost. Dang. You gonna
True.
rematch? No, rematch.
I mean,
Right now
let's
might be
go.
the time. Right now might be the time.
You might catch him off his
He's
game.
busy. Exactly. He might.
Go, go come to battle on the cardigan.
Oh, he already got the first bar ready to go. Don't start
Hey,
again.
he's been
You came to battle me
he,
in a cardigan.
he's he's got these pent up feelings.
It's
Nah,
since
it's real, man. I've
2001,
had
man.
people come to me with all types of stories from in my battle day of like, how they felt or what it made them decide not to pursue, etc. It's real. It's valid. It's valid.
Walk us through
25
your
years of
first
pent up
battle.
aggression.
What was that like?
My first ever battle was it was kind of reoccurring. Like this dude, priest, every day in gym. This is probably like my sophomore year or the start of my junior year. He would just freestyle. He'd just be going. He'd just be going because he was really good. He's still a great writer. I've actually had him on some of my stuff, but he would just be going because it was like he was at the point of like, you've mastered a style. Now you're just trying to show everybody this style. And he was very in the Nas vein, so real deep lyrics, but on point with the enunciation and the flow. He had crazy flow. But anyway, he would just go every day at gym, and then occasionally he would come at whoever's walking in the gym. And one day he came at me, and I felt it before that heat, but then I was just like, I think I could say something, and I said a little something, and people were like, but outside of that time, probably sixth grade, when I had to write a poem about God for Miss Hudson, and I spit my poem, and they're like, he's rapping, he's a rapper. Yeah, in sixth grade. That's crazy. Yeah, but it was super hilarious because the teacher, she thought like a rapper was somebody who rapped candy because she was thinking from her context of like people working at
Yeah.
the candy factory.
You worked at Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But nah, that was definitely probably the first moment somebody called me a rapper, and I thought about it, but I didn't really act on it till that junior year of really being, sincere and serious. Because that junior year, I dropped my first tape, and we passed it around the school, and some people's parents would sing, some of the hooks. So it was like you're getting all the green lights of maybe you should, dig deeper.
Oh, that's
That's
dope.
so dope. I I keep hearing people supporting you, people supporting you, people supporting you. Um, it's so important. It's so important. Did you have like all the equipment and all the
No,
stuff that
not
you
at all.
needed to make your
Not
own tape?
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. All I
This
had
is the
was
part
my
that I love.
dad's.
This is the part that I
I
love.
had my dad's his old stereo that he passed to me because he bought a new high tech stereo, you know, and I had my headphones and I just would plug them in and use like the bogus headphones to hear myself, and then rap in the nice headphones with the little leathery ears that I took from my dad, you know. And but that,
Yeah.
you know, I made it that first tape that way. But I mean, in eighth grade, I attempted during what was that, Christmas break. I talked my parents into like a little Casio keyboard and some hit sticks, and I don't know why I thought like that was gonna make the best album ever. Oh man, I was so frustrated, you know. But yeah, junior year is when like I figured it out, and you know, I paid a guy. I remember I can't think of the DJ. The DJ is still out there DJing hardcore, but I was like, "Oh, you make beats?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll give you a tape of beats." And he was like, "Just give me $10." And I get the tape. It's all like instrumentals from other people. But it was like I didn't, you know, have super knowledge of all the records. So at first, you know, I'm like, "Oh man, this is jamming. This is dope." You know, and one of the homies like, "Oh, that's Premiere. That's the," you know, and I'm like, "Ah," and he got me. So then from there though, it made me start to sample. So I went through like my jazz like tapes and you know found you know random jazz stuff. I think I took
Huh.
some Beastie Boys stuff and took some reggae stuff and found little spots where I could make songs. So I mean, it kind of it got me started, you know, to figure it out. And then later I would hook up with Kenny Keys because like his dad, Willie Carter, was one of my like mentors in the sense of me being a painter, like figuring out the other side of being a painter besides like the school stuff, you know. So while I would be going to his crib, you know, he kept telling me, "Oh man, my son, you know, he makes music. I know he's into the stuff you're into." But you know, Kenny was younger than me, a couple like maybe 4 years younger than me. So like he wouldn't really say
Yeah.
much, you know what I mean? And it's like he's super young, you know. I'm like barely, you know, 16, 17. So I mean, he had to be like 13, 12, you know. So anyway, I think it was like at Gallery 37 because Kenny was in the program too, and he's like, "Oh, I'm making beats," and then I think he let me hear something on the headphones, and then I came through, and it was just like any session we did at his crib, he would make everything on the spot. Because the thing about Kenny, like he's a trained classical pianist, so I mean he's playing for
Oh,
like
damn.
Aretha Franklin and all this other stuff on the weekends, you know, at the state capitol, because that's really his focus. Like he's going to the Chicago School for, you know, for arts. So I mean, 100% he's into making music. So it was just like, I guess fun when we came because we were like a break from the band stuff he was doing. But he was super sick with it. Then later I found out like him and DJ Noble, Ben Lamar Gay, a few other people, they had their own little clique on the music side, you know, and then all of us, you know, became friends, you know. So
did you work with Lyric District at all? Because I know he produced a lot for them,
yeah, yeah. So
like Mr. Rogers and
yeah, no, no, man. I'm gonna get to it. Like I started a crew called Acrobats in 1993. In that crew
Yeah.
is Lyric District. In that crew is Alley Cat's crew. In Alley Cat's is Hebrew Brantley. In that crew is Arcade Crew. So your Statics, your Max Samsings. In that crew is PDX from Whitney Young. That's Psalm One. That's Open Mike Eagle.
mm,
So I mean, it was like over 200 kids. So any and everybody you seen me with, we all yeah crew.
yeah,
Prime
that's
was in
where
that
that's
What's
where
it
crew.
we
like?
kind
You
of
know?
linked up. That's
Prime
where we
was in
kind
that
of
crew.
linked up
Careful, careful.
because
We don't want to trigger. We don't want to trigger C4 no more. It's
that's
okay.
good,
Down, boy,
man.
down.
Well, we had me and my guy we had Mr. Rogers on a joint, man. He's dope as hell, man.
Yeah. Now he always had his flavor. I mean, Lyric District as a whole, because I mean, it was more than just the rappers. Like they had some dope graphic designers. They had you know DJs, party promoters, all that. I mean, they were their one-stop shop, man. But when they hooked up with Kenny,
Yeah,
yeah, they caught on, and it was just like that was the team. Yeah, 1993. That's what
yeah,
they became from Lyric District with Kenny. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
Roger
so
used to do a
Kenny's
It
lot of
seems
those
house.
like
events.
It was Kenny's house, and then I would go to Sauk Village to Yoda. He's a producer from a group called Centric IE. Him and Silas were like best friends. So Silas would always be at his crib, but we would go out there to record. And mind you, on the bus to go record in Sauk Village. So this is dedication. Like you really trying to get it popping. But the first time we
Yeah.
went to the studio, like a real studio, because I think I had missed my first chance with it was supposed to be with Prime in the Moment. He was putting together like a posse cut, and it was like all my homies went, but I couldn't go that day. I think I had to work or something. But I think the next week I went out to Stager, Indiana, to this place called Fast Tracks. And what was crazy about recording there was like it was all rock guys. So I mean, off top, they're not really into hip hop at all. But they would let us do whatever we wanted to do for 2 hours. You know, we pay for it, and they would give us a decent mix and let it go. But upon walking into this spot, I see Tongue Twister, like a plaque or something from him, and
Oh.
then I see a thingamajig tape or
Hey,
something on the wall.
Chocula.
So like
Choc-
it's like such a questionable moment because I'm like, man, they got tongue twister and they got thingamajig. I was like, man, this is wow. we 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 found the hidden
We here.
treasure, man. The Temple of Doom. Let's get it. And I mean, in
Yeah.
in those sessions, I think we might have had maybe 3 or 4 there, but every time we would record like at least 2 to 3 records in those 2 hours, and we were making the beats on the spot too. Usually it'd be like me and Chips and Yoda and Silas and a few other, characters that could slide. Yeah, Open Mike Eagle even made it through one of those. Yeah.
Huh.
But
How
that's
do
all like
you
95, 96.
how do you convince some of your boys to form a crew? And then when you do that, do you go off of like just getting along with them, or do you go and say, okay, you're good at graphic design, you're good at rapping, you're good at beats?
Well, initially it was just I had started a couple crews in high school. So this was like my final
Hmm.
form of trying to do that. So it's like I took all my other times of doing it and looked at like the structure of like Rock and Zulu and all of them and was like, all right, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it in an open way. I'm not gonna do it where you're in. I'm gonna do it where your whole crew is in. So now you already got people to hang out with. Because, like with the graffiti thing, if you're not hanging out with your peoples, you're probably not about to go get up, unless you're a solo dolo person. But also,
Right.
at the point anybody stops, that's kind of like the end. Whereas putting down a whole crew, they have a whole ecosystem where they could create new things.
Hmm.
They might all go to the same college next year. So they create a whole new world, for us to come perform and do the thing. But I mean, it was strategic. I definitely, the main thing is like, I have to get along with you. Because I really wasn't concerned if other people had issues with each other. I was just like, if you get along with me, I'm sure I could smooth it to make this thing work. But initially, literally, our tapes would be more of compilations, where it's like, I would take the best songs from each group and then put it together as one album, you know. And then from there, it
Nice.
started to offshoot into like those groups having their own albums and you know putting down solo artists, so like a Quell, I think it was, we were at Navy Pier and I think I'd seen him maybe the week before and then the next week he actually rapped for us and then he was just like shocked like we can make a tape, he was just shocked that we're making this happen as a steady thing and he was trying to get into rapping because he was doing graffiti and he was writing these raps but he hadn't found an outlet, I guess. But we just hit it off. We're like, oh, you're in. So I mean, to get in acrobatics, it was just really me saying, yeah, you're a made man, just the tap on the shoulder, and then you would pop up to our meetings
You take the
every
mic
other
out and
Saturday.
tap their shoulders.
Well, actually, I mean, we used to do like our handshake was like the white guy handshake, quotation marks, just a firm and then a slap on the shoulder. Because it was supposed to be like, you don't know what we're doing. You're just thinking we're being silly, but that's how you know somebody's in the crew. And it's Chicago, so we already got tons of handshakes. So we're definitely trying to steer clear of the
Did you put
handshakes,
people?
because even all the hip hop crews had handshakes. So it was just like, yeah, it's too much. I'm like, I'm not trying to remember that.
Did you put people through their paces so they get their briefcase? Like, did you have to earn your briefcase?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, you usually have to battle us. like, I mean, that was usually like how people got in. Like they were in a cipher with us, and I was like, all right, yeah, you held yours. I rock with you.
You're
Or
nice. Okay.
during our beefs, you got up crazy. It's like, ah, I gotta honor that, or you
Yeah.
would at some of the meetings, people would practice, rap on the spot, break dance on the spot. Also, I mean, like the way we recorded was more like X-Men X Room type joint where it's like one take Jake. If you couldn't do it in one take, you're not gonna make it on the song. And you had to have some crazy bars. Like it was just a lot to it where you had to be
Yeah.
good. You know what I mean? You had really no room
Right.
not to be good or you're not gonna be on any of the songs.
I can see that. You don't want any bums on there.
Hell
Mhm.
no.
Then also, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like we ain't got no money. So I mean, it's like you gotta make it work.
Right.
Like
We don't have time.
we can't
we,
afford to take
we don't have time for you to be wasting this money
uh,
that we don't have. Yeah, I can see that. Nah, get out of here, trash boy.
but I mean that's what made it cool though when we started to have 4 tracks and many disc recorders and just all our own equipment. That's when it really started to cook more and could take more time to make stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I last year um I was able to participate in a studio session, and let me tell you, it was addictive. It was addictive. My boy, one of my friends, was making some moody song, and then the dude that was crying on the microphone, he needed a break, and so my boy looked at me. He said, "You ready?" I said, "I'm ready," and I made a diss track, and let me tell you, my energy level was
What?
off the charts.
So you beat the man while he was down. Like you was just like, all right, you got this sad
No,
song. I'm about to
I
come.
didn't. I didn't.
Why you being
No,
sad?
my I had a whole other song. I wrote a diss track to rappers that do their own graphic design.
Oh wow.
So I was
Shots
there.
fired,
I was
man.
talking
I feel
mad
away now.
shots
I
fired.
do my own graphic design.
You, my friend, I trust. You, my friend, I
But
trust.
yeah,
You do
I
not
know what
listen
you
to that
mean. Yeah.
song. You do not
Yeah.
listen to. You
But
can send it to some folks. You can send it to some folks.
yeah. I know what you mean though. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah. No, I had
Yeah.
such a good time, man. The music was so loud, and I was eating that microphone, boy. I was in there, and I was like, "This is what these boys are always talking about. I like this."
It's that high, man. It's
Uh-oh.
like being on stage. Mm.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah. I
even.
mean, my favorite
Being
place
on
definitely
stage,
the
I can't even
studio.
imagine. Yeah, yeah, that was a good time. That was my first time. I hope it's not my last, because uh, it was
I
so
mean,
much fun.
you got the setup already, man. I mean, you just gotta get the. I mean, you
Oh
probably
yeah,
even
I've
got the
made I've
recording
made some
equipment. Yeah.
I've made
C4 is
a
like,
diss
yeah.
track to Santa Claus. I made a diss track to
Oh
Santa
wow.
Claus once, where I told him North Pole isn't where he lives, but where he met his wife. All kinds of, I'm goofy,
Wow.
but
I mean, this could be your whole thing, bro. You could be the Weird Al, Coconut. You could ride this, just albums of diss
There you go.
records towards imaginary people or random people
uh,
types. This could be a thing, bro. This could really be a thing.
You heard it here first, folks.
uh,
My
no, I
Uber
got my boy
driver was
Rookie.
smoking
He's
when they picked me up. This could be big, bro. This could be big.
right. But no, you are one of those guys that I do not doubt in any way when it comes to creativity. That song is not for you. What's it like living in your brain? Like, you
That's just a
paint?
lot of ideas, man. It's just a lot of ideas.
Yeah,
I often give them out for free. Other times I do charge for my ideas, but it's just always ideas, man.
yeah,
Like I think the key to all of it, I'm just really good at problem solving in that,
yeah.
and just working with
I can
what's
see that.
there instead of trying to work with what we don't have or even think about that
And
part.
then
Yeah.
giving up because you don't see the path. giving up is the
Mm.
wrong thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, like I always tell people, I'm
Yeah.
like, every album got at least one really good song, you know. It's just
Mm-hmm.
all how they
Mm-hmm.
dug out the idea, you know. It might just need to change how the drums hit or what count they're starting the rap on or, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I try to explain it to people. Um, like imagine being a spaceship in Star Wars and all the star and they hit that rocket boost, whatever it is, the
Mm. That's the best
light
part.
speed, whatever,
That
right?
is light speed, yes.
So when you're light speeding, those all those stars that you're whizzing by, those are ideas. And then every once in a while, like, well, I'm gonna give you my I grow my own weed, so I smoke up, and it slows those stars down enough so I can grab one and I go to work.
Gotcha. Wow.
That's me. That's how I see it. That's
It
like
sounds like a
ideas are
solid
just
workflow here.
flowing.
Mm.
It works. It works. I cannot sit still. And so
Mm.
when I look at you, I'm like, I can only, like, because not only are you doing graffiti, graphic design, rapping, make beats, but you're also like a coordinator, organizer.
Yeah, that's what they say, organizer.
And that, yeah, that organizer part is what makes me envy is the wrong word, but it makes me look up to you in that way because you get an idea and you know you have the people to pull in and you deliver. And I think creative folks, that's the one thing that a lot of creative folks are missing is the
Hmm.
follow through.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of based on how you come into creativity and what your options are. I mean, a lot of my things were like, if we didn't make the thing, it's not going to be a party. If we don't
Yeah.
record this album, ain't nobody coming to look for us to make an album. You know, if we don't press the tape, it's nobody else gonna press this tape, man. If we don't paint the mural, who else is gonna paint a mural here? You know, a lot of the stuff is being like the change I want to see. I mean, that's what I usually say with all of the
Yeah.
stuff. Is just trying to do the things I want to see, you know, and not waiting.
Yeah. And having the courage to just be like, fuck it, it's got to be done.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, otherwise, I mean, I always tell people, what's the worst that can happen? If you don't do it, you still where you at. You do it, hey,
Yeah.
something could pop.
Yeah. 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 And
It'll never happen if you don't do anything.
yeah. Yeah. With that being said, I wanted to make sure that I talked to you because there's another thing that you've been putting together. And I don't remember right offhand, but the Inglewood Creative Co-op, is that right?
It's the Englewood Arts Collective.
Arts Collective. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you tell us about that and how that came out?
Yeah. So, with the collective is 10 co-founders. So, to a point, the majority of us were friends in some sort. And then as we started to work together, people that didn't know each other became friends as well. But the basis was we're all from Inglewood and we were all doing artwork that had community in mind in it. But everything from like photographers to film directors to social justice artists to graphic designers to muralists to rappers to producers, etc. To admin. So it's like the full gambit of all the different creative pursuits and things needed. But I think we really came together in 2017 or 2016 when Tanika Lewis Johnson had just sent like a text message or like an email and just said, "Hey man, we're all like repping Inglewood. Why don't we do it together?" So initially, I think it was maybe four of us at a meeting, and then from there it went to like the 10. And then after 10, we like capped it and said, "All right, this is the brain trust. let's start doing community stuff together. So like our first thing we did was a little bit before the pandemic. Well, we did some other stuff before then, but I would say the first like really in the neighborhood outside type joint we did was Envision Inglewood, where we put up like a bunch of stakes with signs and then put signs at certain buildings saying, I could see a dance studio here. I could see, a recording studio here. I could see a supermarket here. Just kind of reclaiming some
Mm.
abandoned vacant lots and, buildings that were,
On some killer
not
Mike shit.
being used to the most. Yeah, but it was just like to start a conversation, and it was like interesting. Some
Yeah.
people were upset about it. Some people were like, "When is the dance studio coming?" So it was like both sides of the thing. But from there, we did at 2020, we did a art lot on a vacant lot. So it was like a hot corner, a hot spot where it was like drug trafficking and people being killed on occasion, or that kind of stuff across from a liquor store.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a abandoned corner store. Looked like it used to probably be a currency exchange because it's like the building is in the middle of the lot with parking all around it. So anyway, me, Kujo Da, and Just Flow, we did like a live mural that day, and then we had Rob Smooth, another co-founder. He did a free beat making class. And then we had Giovanna, another co-founder. She did free ceramics. And then we had Sauce No Pasta, my homie Glenn. Big up Glenn. It was his birthday yesterday. Another co-founder. He was
Happy
doing free
birthday, Glenn.
photography. And then Janelle and Tanika were kind of running point of the joint. And then we teamed up with other orgs. So we teamed up with Rage, which is like the a homeowners association in Inglewood. And then we teamed up with Allspace, and Allspace hooked up like a free market on the side where you could bring stuff to give to people, or you could take whatever you wanted for free. And that little free space stayed up, for years after we did this thing. Now it's actually the store reopened, shockingly, because of the
Mm.
traffic, seeing it more viable again. But yeah, so those are like the first things. Then from there, we kind of started to dream bigger and figure out new ways, we could be proactive and seeing Inglewood in a different light. Because I mean, initially we are just like, man, what could we do to change how people see Inglewood? So it's kind of like we could change what happens when you Google Inglewood, because there'll be all these stories of
Mm-hmm.
the stuff that we're doing and other people are doing. And, from there, we started to do re-granting where we would give funds and then reallocate the funds to different artists in our network. And then, we would show up and do art shows with different art fairs and let the artists keep 100% of what they made. So a lot of stuff like that. And then from there, starting to work with Department of Cultural Affairs, on different mural projects, community projects, sculptures, etc. Just really broadening the scope, and then also making room for the next generation of artists to be like, all right, they took it there, we could take it even further. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Without the fear, and just trying to again see the things we want to see.
Yeah. What folks might not know, if you don't know the Chicagoland area, Englewood is not known for the best vacation spot. So when you have a group of young people coming together to be like, nah, we that's not what we want folks to see. Like it's big. Like this art collective and everything that you're describing is just wonderful. And it's a
Yeah.
perfect example of what you can do when you get the right people together and everyone has the same singular focus. And
Yeah,
that's
definitely,
just
man.
it's so dope. It's so dope.
And inspiring
And
generations.
it's contrary to what a lot of things that you see on the news.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, that was, definitely a big part of it. I mean, for me, more so though, is just kind of bringing the things I grew up on. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I lived in Englewood for the majority of my life, and like my mom, she was artistic director at the Art Center, the Boulevard Art Center in Englewood, 6011 South Justine, and like I painted my first mural there at 13. I always
Nice.
did community service, regardless of if I did something or didn't do something. I was doing community service because that's how my parents were, you know. So I mean,
Yeah.
my relationship to this is just what I've already been taught, and now
Yeah.
it's just being able to show and prove it, you know.
Yeah.
But that's my story. You know, everybody doesn't have that same story. But for me, it's just really
Right.
bringing back those things, you know.
Right. And I think that's why it's important to bring light to the things like just the fact that your parents are so supportive and they kept exposing you to all the cool things that turned you into who you are, and then you're paying it forward and you're exposing young people in Inglewood to everything that you're passionate about and letting them know like, yo, you can do this.
Hmm. No, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, also, I mean, it's not even limited to Inglewood because I mean, the majority
Yeah.
of us in the group, we all are after school matters teachers at some point in our careers where we did the same thing there. You know what I mean? It's just a
Yeah.
for everything. I don't really want to limit it just to that, but it's definitely where we're pushing impact the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love everything about that. And it goes to show you if you build a team. What's the saying? If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go as a team.
Yeah, I mean, all the greatest things I've ever done was as a team. You know, even though I've had a
Yeah.
lot of success solely, but even the solo success, it was other people playing a role. You know, to help it
Hmm.
get across that line. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the main reason I
It's
really don't
really
make beats because it's like I just be in the studio by myself. It's like you gotta have
no,
some
for
people
sure.
with you, man.
No,
It makes it funner.
yeah, it does.
Definitely.
And
Go ahead.
it's
I cut
and
you off, C4.
it's
My
cool.
bad.
It's cool to see that the journey. How the, everything that you go through, you apply it to now, and to the benefit of like just future generations, man. Giving back to the city, giving back to the like. I walk around here, man, and I see young people that don't have direction or guidance, or
Mm-hmm.
an outlet, and to be someone that can give that to them and spark that dream and the hope in the dream is commendable, man. I love that.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Similarly, like I always wanted to make movies. I always wanted to make animations and stuff like that. Nobody I knew, nobody around me knew what the hell. They're like, boy, that's white people shit. And so I was like, slowly but surely, I took it upon myself to expose myself to different things. But man, the shortcut would be something like this.
Hmm. No, I mean that's
And
a
it's
key part, like meeting somebody that's doing the thing you're trying to do. I think for Chicago, that was like one of the harder things of coming up in the 80s and 90s of we hadn't seen anybody make it. You know what I mean?
right.
We're at the start of Twista and Common's careers, but there's all these other
Yeah.
groups that was there, you know, but those are the
And
first two
remember,
people
hip hop
to
was at
get it,
its infancy
you
back
know.
then.
Yeah, and
Hip hop
even
was
when they
still
got
new.
it, you know, everybody wasn't like, "Ooh, Chicago." They're like, "Okay, you got these people from Chicago." Then they tried to compare them to something else, you know.
And let me
But in this
argue,
time,
it's
to be
still
able to
kind of
see
like
all the
that.
people, I don't know. I mean, but my perspective's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
I see how many people I know that are eating off being a rapper now compared to when I started, you
Yeah.
know,
That's a good point.
and the different avenues, you know, artists have now. Like, I mean, we have people that own studios that were once just producers that continuously own the studio and can produce if they
Yeah.
decide to or not. You know, that's big. Whereas before it was very like, this is our cruise studio, or, you know, we're paying this space for this, you know, 4-day lock-in, you know.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the PR side of it, there's tons of people in the PR now, you know, whereas again, that wasn't as big of a thing here in the sense of the urban scene, the hip hop scene. But I mean, it always could be more. Let me not say that. definitely could use
Yeah.
way more. It could even
Way
be
more.
way bigger. But
Yeah.
when you look at like a Chance the Rapper, you look at a No Name Gypsy, you look at a Mick Jenkins, you look at a Vic Spencer. I mean, it's Brittany Carter. Like, I mean, a lot of those people are able just to do what they do and find success.
Hmm.
Whereas, was a time where you couldn't sound like that. You had to sound like this. Otherwise, you're not getting anything.
Hmm.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I mean, it changed every age. I mean, when I was first out, I wanted to be a radio DJ like my dad. Then my
You
mom was
nailed
a
that.
painter. I wanted to be a painter. You know what I mean?
You nailed
I found
that.
out she did a little graffiti. I wanted to do graffiti. I wanted to play, basketball at the time, and I mean, I was super into that. I had the hoop in the backyard, all that, street games,
Yeah.
park games, all that. But then I went to a school where everybody was 6'6" and up. I was like, oh wow, I guess I'm not playing basketball, you
Yeah,
know.
things get tough.
And then the architect, I was in that hard. But then rap, man, rap took over, man. I remember my mom made me make a three item list of what I wanted to be as a person growing up. And rap
Yeah.
was at the top, painting was in second, and then I said being a teacher, like when I'm 60 and I have like one big dread. I don't know why I said that, but
One big dread.
yeah, that was such a weird like. But I was just like, I guess so. Yeah, I had dreads at the time, so it checks out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean, all the stuff I'm doing is stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends tell me I've been really good at trying to do just the things that I want to do for the most part. Because even
Yeah.
like my side quests were things for me to learn how to do the thing I'm trying to do. Like me and Prime, I remember we used to work for Shrewd Marketing. We were interns there, and then we both got hired there. He got hired first, and then I got hired to do like art stuff there and street teaming. But working there, I got to learn how to promote a record. I learned
Huh.
how to go to the stores, how to talk to the DJs, like, a lot of stuff you don't know, and
Yeah.
seeing how close all the things are and how the relationships matter, like, and keeping your same name, throughout your thing. So people don't lose sight of you and all your
Yeah.
work adds up.
What was the first time you were up on stage? And were you like nervous, or were you just always good with the crowd?
The first time I ever got on stage, I was in kindergarten. I was doing a tap dance
Man,
recital.
you've been exposed to, you were built for this.
Yeah, I didn't know the
Your
moves though. I
parents are
definitely
like,
did not
let's
pay
just
attention
let's
in that
just drop
joint.
this creative beast. Boof.
But nah, I mean, my first real rap show though was at Operation Push. It was for my friend Zenobia for her I
Hmm.
think her 16th birthday or 17th birthday maybe. Yeah, and she had me to perform at the Operation Push party space on the side of the building. I'll never forget that because I was definitely nervous that day. But
Yeah.
I had to do what I had to do. But at that time, I
How
had a whole
many?
different kind of performance. Like I was more like I do one song I know, and then the rest I'm just freestyling. You know,
Oh, okay. So you
so it
didn't
was
have like
loose.
a whole you didn't have like
Well, I
a
didn't know.
whole
I didn't know
list of
what to do.
songs. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have a whole list of songs because I mean, you hear what I'm saying. Like this is before I dropped
Yeah.
my album, so
No
this is
Yeah.
like
catalog.
demos, stuff I made, but not make it in the sense of like, ooh, you need to keep the instrumental. It's just you just made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because at that point in the
I
city, it was really more about battling. That was really more how you got your name.
yeah.
So you just at
Okay.
every party battling. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a conversation with Dawood Anyabuile. He's the creator of Brother Man Comics,
Yeah.
and
Nah,
his
OG. I used
story.
to read Brother Man hard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my dog. I love that guy. But his story is very similar to that, where he's like, my comic book is bigger than the regular comic books because he didn't know the sizing. He just went and picked up a
Yeah.
magazine and he designed his book off of a magazine. And it ended up paying off because now he's got this big ass comic book, and compared to all the other comic books, his was bigger, so people kept buying it
Yeah.
because it was just
No,
bigger.
it stuck out. It stuck out. And then also, if you're learning how to draw characters, he's giving you more than enough space, to trace and get it
Yeah,
popping. I thought I was gonna go that way for a minute. I remember my mom, she had hooked me up to intern with Rex Perry as a line artist, and I did
yeah,
not like it at all. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like real work. Because it's like basically they give you a bunch of pencil sketches, and then you got to figure out where the face is, where the hands are, and if you could read the text. Like I did not fare well in that one. Big up to Rex Perry
yeah,
though, hip hop have, yeah, OG.
yeah.
Thanks for giving me a shot
I
though.
yeah, that's where I geek out too, is like illustration and comics and stuff. And I don't live that far from the Charles Schultz Museum,
Oh,
and it's
nice.
wild to see how big his panels were. Like the paper that he drew on were like huge. And it's cool to
He was
see.
smart.
It's
It's easier to draw big than it is to draw small. Me and my friends
one
that
hundred
I paint a
percent.
lot of mirrors with, we always talk about that. It's like, because I'll do like a 16 by 20 painting and add all this detail in it. But if it was on a bigger joint, it'd be like way easier to show the same thing. So
Yeah,
Schultz, very smart. Who knows?
yeah, yeah. And again, when my art career has always been challenged by not having the funds to do whatever. So I figured it out. If I can't have that big paper, I'm gonna have the little paper. So now I'm drawing all little and stuff. But then when you go and you're exposed to the greats and they're drawing big as hell like that, you're like, oh, give me my newsprint. It's just
I mean,
really
you make it
cool.
happen with
Again,
what you
it's
got,
that
man.
exposure.
Yeah,
Right.
because I mean, we would be at Kinko's, making album covers. And I told you we were burning the CDs. I mean, it's all almost
Yeah.
free 99, super low cost.
For real. Hey, isn't it artistic that was working on a book and he was a manager at Kinko's or something, and he was straight up like printing his book at Kinko's?
Probably, but I mean, like that's another guy. I mean, like I used to be on Rock magazine, and I mean that was like my
Mm-hmm.
first editorial anything outside of like school stuff. And even with him, like learning how to get subscriptions, learning how to get the magazine printed, learning the layout of a magazine, what pages correspond with each other, stapling versus, the other options. Like, yeah, big up
The
the artistic,
bindings,
man.
yeah.
I can't wait to see that new museum, man. They about to do it super big. The new Chicago Hip Hop Museum.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the ground up,
The one thing I
brand
like
new.
one thing I like about him is he is a go-getter. He don't care.
Hmm. Yeah.
He's
Now, when I
always
joined
into something.
Rock, I was in Till's his chapter for a little bit, but then I got moved to Artistic and Fears chapter 2, and like man, those two people they really quenched a lot of my wanting to know Chicago graph, Chicago hip hop stuff. I mean, Fear had a
Hmm.
sick catalog, of just VHSs and photos, and man, like you go to his crib and just man, Wonderland. But they took time, to let a young kid that's overzealous, to catch the vibes. Because I'm super laid back now, but back then I was super, super animated, man. Because I was trying to see it.
Yeah, but that's like as an elder, that's what you want to see. You want to see a kid be passionate about doing this thing. So like for example, I Doug Inf is out here. He's out here in the Bay, and
Yep.
we've
Big up,
hung out.
Doug.
We've big up Doug. I love that dude. And we've hung out, and he's just told me story after story, and he talks about when baby Kanye was on his come up, and Kanye was constantly asking questions, and Doug put his arm around him and was like, "Yo, come here, let me show you." Just, if you're a young person trying to get into this stuff, do that. Don't be so precious with your bars. Don't be so precious with it. Go and be addicted to that thing that you want to do, and the OGs will pick you up and take you there.
Yeah, man. We used to hang out at his store at Forest City, man. Underground Wheels. We'd be on that bench, the writer's bench. Man, a lot of my good friends there,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It was very important that
Yeah.
he had that space because it was like it wasn't many places you could just hang without it being an issue, especially in the mall. Like, the mall security ready to kick you out as soon as they see a bunch of dudes.
And Doug is that good of a person, man. He will set the table for you, and then like you're like, "Can I eat?" And he's like, "Duh, that's why I set the table."
Yeah, nah, he was definitely a pioneer, man. Like out of the stores from that time, like that was a weird time to have a store because like a lot of stores would not last. Like early 90s is like you get maybe a year or two and then they fold just because it was such a new idea of having a hip hop shop.
Mm-hmm.
And with graffiti, spray paint becoming illegal, that's a big revenue stream, that was
Mm-hmm.
taken.
And then isn't it like somewhat weird that there was a
It's
skate
still
shop,
illegal though.
a skate? Oh
Nah,
yeah,
I mean
spray
skate
painting. Yeah.
shops. I mean that's like hand in hand because I mean like a lot of our big breaks, were being on different skate tapes, as the soundtrack. That
Yeah.
was like a moment, if you caught the right person and they put you in the mix and you got the best trick, like your joint might go now. Like this might be the joint for the summer.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was all looking for counterculture, at that time. And since that was more of a time of like you could look at somebody and know what they were into, the skateboard
Yeah.
shop kind of had that mix where it'd be like people super hip hop, some people that might be more punk or more into like dance crews or party crews, it was like a melting
Mm-hmm.
pot.
Yeah. And again, it's building that community with like-minded folks. It's just you just go farther. Oh my bad. I thought C4 was going to say something. I get nervous because I cut you off all the time.
It's
You got to
cool, man.
stand up for yourself, C4. You stand up.
Get
Don't
up
let
here and eat, son.
Take this, Andre. Wait a minute. Flashbacks.
He's still on his prime. He's still sore about prime. Ain't that
No,
some
man,
shit?
I'm good, man. I'm good. He's gonna come on the show, man. I gotta.
Oh, there you go.
It's gonna be good.
Next
It's gonna
feature.
be a healing moment. It's gonna be a healing moment.
Yeah. And you know who else is making moves, like big moves, is Rhymefest. He's part of the Board of Education out there and stuff. And people sleep on
Yeah.
Rhymefest.
Yeah. Do they? I mean, Rhymefest, he
Outside
definitely has made his
Chicago.
mark.
Outside Chicago they do. Outside Chicago they do.
I mean, I, I hear what you're saying, in the same way Juice, could be pushed even more, both of them.
Yeah. He's
But
another
on the
one.
other
Yeah.
side, in the sense of like meeting kids where it's like what he said affected them and, moved them forward, because he's definitely done a lot of mentoring and teaching and that kind of stuff.
100%. Yeah, I got nothing but love for Rhymefest and everything that he's doing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Check him
but
out
when I
on
just like
Heavy Crowns on his new album. They just did a record together.
what is it? Happy Crowns?
Heavy crown.
Heavy Crowns. Yeah, he's like
Oh,
a
Heavy
rapper
Crowns.
from Inglewood, but he just dropped his first album. Like he's been making music for some years, but his first proper album. But he's got Ronfest on there. He's got me on there. He's got GLC on there. He's got the Omais on there. He's got Mother Nature Bars. He's got Jujilla, Panamera P. He got some. He got Vic Spencer on there. I mean, he got some hitters on his album. It's pretty solid. And again, kind of in that same vein of some stuff's party, some stuff's serious, some stuff's
Yeah.
style. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna check that out too.
You got a show coming up, don't you? In April?
Yeah. April 21st, me and Rap Ferreira, who can rap forever, will be live at Sub T on the second floor. April 21st. I think doors are like 7, something like that. Yeah. Should be fun.
I love it.
I think I'm doing like
I
30
love
minutes.
Sub T.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a set right there.
What Sub
Yeah.
T and hip hop are like Jack and Jill going up that hill, boy. They are so supportive.
Yeah, I've had some really, really fun shows. Actually, speaking of Ronfest, the first time I heard him perform Jesus Walks was at Sub T. It was an Acrobat show. And I remember we were in the green room doing sound check. And then like he's like, let's test the beats. And he plays that beat. And we were just like, whoa, this is crazy. Crazy, man.
And this is where I have to point out, outside Chicago, they don't know that Rhymefest wrote that song.
Yeah. And won an
Maybe.
award for it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point they probably do, but at a certain point,
Yeah.
definitely not.
At least in
Because I
Cali.
mean,
they
now
don't.
I mean, people know more about his catalog as a writer. After he got the joint with Common. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Because out here,
but
I'll
I
be
hear you.
talking to people about Rhymefest, and they don't know who I'm talking about. And I'm like, the dude that wrote Jesus Walks, and they're like, Kanye? I'm like, no.
Oh, word. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's a whole
will say
different
like,
level once outside of the city. It's different.
well, see, for me, like I would say, I'm pretty insulated in that sense. Usually, I'm talking to people that's in the know, no matter what city, they're just super into it. So it's like they want the
Yeah.
liner
Yeah.
notes. You know what I mean? So you have to pardon me for that, because oftentimes I'm like, well, it's not my experience, but I get it. I hear you. That's fair.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
still doing
I get,
shows
I get,
regularly?
yeah.
You're still doing shows regularly, or is it just you just coming out to come out?
I mean, I never really did it regularly. I mean, I just did it when people asked me to perform. That's always been more my vibe. Like, unless I'm dropping a record, that's the only time I really throw a show. Other than that, it's just always been if somebody books me, if I can be there, I'll be there.
So is this like all this artistic stuff? Are you doing that full time? Is this your gig? Or like when you hang up with us, are you going to Kinko's?
Nah, I mean, all I do is art. So I mean, that could be
Yeah.
anything from facilitating, anything from hosting to painting murals to doing sculptures, for libraries
Yeah.
to doing voiceover. I mean, just whatever's within the creative field that somebody, is trying
Yeah.
to pay me to do it. I don't know. For me, I never really had boundaries in that sense. I just always kind of
Yeah.
was ebbs and flows of like, all right, this today's office. I actually used to. That's how when I first got on Instagram, I used to be like today's office, and they would like always change, of what it was.
Yeah. Have you been able to find success on social media? Are you able to leverage that to your benefit, or is it kind of like a pain in the ass and in the way?
Well, I mean, me and social media, we've always had like a love-hate relationship because I never really wanted to have social media. It was only like when I got signed to a marketing company instead of picking a label, I went with a marketing company for one of my albums. And in that contract, like I had to have social media. So they made all my
Mm-hmm.
social medias. And I was like, oh, now I got to keep up. The
Yeah.
only social media I really liked was like the MySpace, and it was more so because you had the music player on the page, and it was me and Rashid Hadi used to always trip out because we were like, it sounds better when it's played through their player. I don't know what's going on in their player, but however they have the levels and everything, like it just
Tom
sounds
knows
better.
something. Tom knew
Yeah.
something. He was ahead of the game.
Yeah. Well, I think the people that made this player started SoundCloud or some other like audio joint, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Tom was in there. But you know, in the sense of Instagram and TikTok, I mean, I post, you know, in the sense to create awareness, but I mean, I look at it in a different way. Like, you know, a lot of people are more based on this is what I'm doing right now, this is what I'm promoting. I just kind of promote stuff as I get a good idea about the stuff or catch a feeling or like for instance this interview, we might talk about something. I'm like, oh man, I should like make a music video for that song. I know it's the song is
Mm-hmm.
like from 2004, but right now I have a really good idea for it. So I try to push it more in that way of just kind of celebrating the things I think are important about my journey, you know, or the things that now are more
So
important because, you know, times have changed or, you know, people are more open for certain things. Because, I mean, for instance, this album that you're talking about, again, we made that in like 2000 to 2009 to 2014. But all the people hearing it for the first time right now, like, oh my gosh, this is so spot on. This is da 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 da. But you know, it's old, but it's new because you never heard it. But you know, in the sense of we make the music, we make the art, we make the podcast, but is every episode for right now? Will it hit different if you dropped it a year from now? You know what I mean? Would it
Mm-hmm.
hit different if you dropped it a year before? You know, like all those are like, I think for me, the things I'm looking at on social media.
Yeah, because it does make a difference. That timing, you can make a banger, but if the timing ain't right, it's not moving.
Hmm. But
yeah, you
also
could be
just
too far
people's
ahead, or
tastes. Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, for me, I mean, I usually make two albums same time. It just never fails. Just anytime somebody offers and says, "Yo, we want you to make this record," somebody else will offer in that same window. I'll be like, "Could you make us a record too?" You know, and it's like, in doing that, you're pushing your mind in a way of like over creating. So it's like a lot of the things are like right at this moment is the idea. And a lot of times it has to simmer for other people to get it, you know, to see the same things you
Yeah,
saw, you know.
yeah,
I mean, that's what I
yeah.
think we relate the golden age so much to is like it took so long for our album to come. By the time it came, you was ready for the album. You was super primed. You were like, yeah, and everything they're talking about, you've already experienced, you know.
there was always that hunger for it, because like you like now is everything's instantaneous, and then it's like disposable almost. You know what I'm saying? So like back then it was like you if you didn't hear it, you needed to hear it. Like you needed to go out and find a way to go and hear it.
Mhm.
And
Well, you
like
had limited
um
versions of it as well, you know. Like, what it would be like
yeah, you
five
get the
people
B
might drop
side.
on a day, and that would be like insane if five people drop in a day. Usually, it would be like two, or maybe one really dope person and one really whack person, and you make the choice, you know. Or you go to the record
And
store
then
and
you
be
come
no
to
new
Circuit City.
records.
Come to Circuit City, we burn that for you.
So you guys were selling burnt CDs at the back of the new stuff that was out. That is wild, but that sounds so Chicago.
Pretty much. You come here, you give us a little list, and then we come meet y'all up in a little bit on our break or something.
Wow, wow. I mean, I
Then we
guess
all
so,
got
because I
fired.
mean, at the mom and pop stores, it was the same stuff going on, you know. So that makes sense.
It was a good
Oh
little
man.
movement though, man. But so on this being a creative, right? Like and trying to put out music now. What do you think about everything going on with AI and like how people are just manifesting everything that they have in their mind with artificial work?
I mean, it's it's hit and miss, you know, but it's a tool, and I mean, if you don't know how to use the
Mm-hmm.
tool, you're gonna get passed up. There's no way around it. I mean, it's just like when Photoshop came, people weren't super happy about that. Like, I'd rather draw. I mean, when I was doing the
Yeah.
drafting, when they had the AutoCAD, I was like, ah man, I just want to draw this stuff. I don't want to. But if I didn't do that, I couldn't move forward, you know. But I do feel like some people do make slop. You know, I do feel people do take advantage, but I mean, that's what everything else, people are going to take advantage. I mean, like, imagine
Mm-hmm.
the beginning when you were on MySpace. It was so beautiful because anybody you hit up had to respond to you just because we hadn't got to the point where we ignore people online. You
Right.
just go, oh, hey, Talib Kweli. And he'll say, hey, how you doing? Because that's all, you know, we hadn't made it there, you know. But I mean, I
You
do
know what's
say with
funny is
AI, it makes it harder now. Like you really have to check stuff to make sure it's real.
I was going to jump back on the MySpace thing because it's just so funny. I had a talk with Rookie on Monday, and he was talking about his heyday when MySpace, not just his heyday, but
Hmm.
he thought highly of the MySpace time frame when he was able to reach out to different people, and he was working on interviewing people and making music and harassing people, asking questions and stuff like that. And yeah, like back in the day, people were more. We didn't have all this extra slop and stuff and bots
Hmm.
and all that stuff. So the
Also, you have to
relationships
check like
were.
7 different sites. You know what I mean? To say, see what's up. For somebody to say like, yeah, I'm not really active on TikTok. You gotta catch me on Instagram. You know what I mean? I don't really do Facebook anymore though. Please.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was
But
I
back
had
to that, back to the AI conversation. No, it's that like it's like Spider-Man with great responsibility, or what is it? With great power comes great
great
responsibility.
responsibility. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was
And if
yeah,
you're
because
just gonna make slop, you're just gonna be known as sloppy.
like I sent you a clip of this dude. He's super talented. I think his name's Len Instrumental or something like that. He bangs on the tables with the pen and makes beats.
Mm-hmm.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, he's dope.
But he's like
Mm.
he's super dope. But then he did it. He's like, I'm gonna use Sono. I think it was Sono, and then he did. I want the beat to match up with this rhythm, and he did the beat, and then he's like, I want the drums like this. I want a singer. I wanted this, and he created a whole track, and I don't know how I feel about it. Like it was dope, but like that process is like,
Let me let me present you this question. Back before cameras came out and everybody was illustrating things for magazines and newspapers and stuff, and then a camera came out. What do you think they were saying?
fuck that camera.
See what I mean?
No, yeah, no, I get it. Like Pug said the same thing. You know, when Adobe came out, and, AutoCAD and
Yeah,
everything
and
like that. And
Adobe's the other one. I had this conversation. With one of my boys that's works down in LA. I said back when 2D animators were drawing on paper and then they would take a picture, then they would put it on the vellum, and then they would, they'd paint the backgrounds and all that stuff. And then Pixar came and ruined that whole thing. So now we're doing everything in 3D. To me, there's no difference between the dynamic that happened between the 2D animators and the 3D animators and what's happening right now with, if I were to open up 3D Studio Max and model something, or After Effects and do some kind of special effects, right? Versus I'm a pretty good writer. I write stories. I'm an award-winning script writer. And I can program, so I'm pretty good with the words, and not for anything, but I got a pretty dope diss track out there. But self promo. But no, for me, when I got to talk to one of my boys, Jibba, he's a artistic
Yeah, I know
type.
Gibbles. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to talk to him yesterday, and I was trying to explain to him, like, to me, there's no difference between using 3D Studio Max, After Effects, and AI. AI is just going to get me there faster because I personally want to get back to charcoal and newsprint, if that makes sense. if I'm going to be in front of the computer, I want it to be a limited time. I want to be done fast because I want to go back to the tactile stuff. I want to paint. I want to be better at painting with paint, not with Photoshop. I want to get better at drawing on newsprint because I enjoy that. I don't want to be in front of a computer much anymore. I've done it already. It's boring. So I want to get, and I'm not saying use ChatGPT to write your bars. Don't be whack.
Well, see,
But
that's the
limiting my
thing.
space.
I think it's like if you use it more as a tool, it could
Yeah.
become like a punctuation in the sense of like you drew this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know how to do
Mm-hmm.
animation. You feed it in to do the animation for you. You
Right.
only can do it
Now you're just
long.
lazy.
You only get so many seconds. No, but you only get so many seconds. So now you got to piece together all those seconds to make it look like a solid frame. So I mean, it's work involved. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I've talked to some people where like that's their thing, making music videos with AI, and I mean, they're still taking like 18 hours, 28 hours. You know what I mean? It's still taking time. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think the job that comes out of this is the prompt master, where like you're the best at writing prompts. Like that's going to be a whole career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
But I can show you some AI that if I sat here and I drew a bunch of pictures, I can feed this AI and then I can have the AI render things out in my style.
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
it's cool. I think it's cool
it's
when
like, what are
you're
you going to
able
do?
to.
It's here.
Yeah, no, I think it's
Yeah.
great when you can enhance your talent, right? I think where
Right.
the game is it gets fucked up is when someone that doesn't like say someone doesn't know how to draw, someone doesn't know how to write bars, and they said, "Hey, I want to write this track, or I want you to make this track for me," and then all of a sudden they're out there and then they're performing the track and it's not even theirs. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they
Yeah.
hire ghostwriters. Chat GBT is their ghostwriter or something. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I you
But I
Right.
know,
feel like,
and then they're making
we've
a
had the same things before and you just get exposed. I mean, it's gonna, it's not
Yeah.
gonna last for you. There's no way around it. Girl,
But let me
it's
toss
true.
in this
You know what I mean?
argument. Let me toss in this argument. I do my little drawings and stuff. I've always tried to incorporate my drawings because I want to be better at it. But there are some people that I've bumped into in life that when they find out that I draw, they say, "Oh, I have this really good idea for this kid's book." And I say, "All right, cool. Well, what's your budget?" They say, $100. a
That's what
hundred
Chat
bucks got you an
GPT and all
invitation to
of that
get the hell
comes
out of my
with.
face.
No, but see, I like it for that. Like, I don't have to do
Right.
little jobs anymore because they could just go to that and knock themselves out, and we don't have to discuss
Right.
the price and none of that now. I think in that sense, it's
Right.
kind of cool because it took the
And I don't
things of
really
art.
want and I don't really want your story to be stifled just because you don't have money.
Yeah.
Now don't use Chat GPT to write a story and to make your art and then you go out and publish it. That makes you bogus.
that's
Well,
the
you can't
problem. That's
own
the
it though.
hiccup right
That's the one thing though. You can't own the AI stuff. That's kind of trippy. Like
Yeah, you
I'm
can't
very
copyright it.
curious
Yeah.
how that's going to
But then,
transfer later.
and then they're fighting to take your intellectual properties and stuff like that now, and it's good. I guess that's the scary part.
But this is where it's
But I
this is
mean,
where it's cool. This is where it's cool. Um it needs to be made by art, let's say a drawing, a painting, anything like that. In order for it to be copywritten, it needs to come from a human. And they've also, from what I understand, I think it was last week, the Supreme Court made it to where you cannot monetize AI music.
yeah.
So now if you're going to make bullshit AI music, you're not going to make money off of it. So If that's how you're going to spend your time, that's just going to have to be how you spend your time.
Yeah. But also, I wonder, like, how does it fizzle? You know what I mean? Like, AI is going to be a part of everything, obviously, because it already kind of
Yeah,
is a
Mm-hmm.
part of everything.
it kind
But
of already is.
as
Yeah.
everything else, things fade and move. You know, it's a new version. It's
Mm-hmm.
less features. It's more features. Or it's a suite. You know what I mean? I feel like it's probably going to move
Mm-hmm.
into that. But I'm
How does
curious
that
to
And
see
evolve?
the effects on like college kids. I'm curious the effects on high school kids. You know, if this is their fallback fall answers. Because even something I've started to
Yeah.
do is like look yourself up on ChatGPT, all the other ones, and correct it. Put the right information in. You know,
mm-hmm.
because I mean I've definitely done interviews where they're using that to figure out who I am and what the questions are, and it's like that's not my life. That's some other artist that was close in proximity that it pulled both of our stories together.
Like Pugs, aren't you from Inglewood, California? No.
Exactly, 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 exactly.
Pugs, is there any kind of creative project type genre that you haven't yet dipped your toes in that you want to?
I mean, I definitely want to do, you know, some more augmented reality type things, you know.
Yeah, oh
Like
yeah.
I was in it early, like doing shows on Third Earth, you know, and those kind of places. But bringing it to now and figuring out what that could be. I don't know if that's gonna be a website or what, or an album or something, but something in that realm would be kind of cool. More like sculptural work, you know, because I've started to do like bigger joints in that, and you know, figuring out new ways, new materials. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just the same thing. I mean, I'm always trying to go forward and figure out how to flip it. So with all the things, just figuring out the new way I can present the same thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I think that's part of, well, let me say it like this. I stopped pissing off my friends because I would have ideas and I'd be texting people, "Ooh, here's an idea, here's an idea," and they're like, "Leave me alone." Now I can actually sit down with something like a Chat GPT or whatever
Mm-hmm.
else. I'm looking at some
Work through
alternatives
it.
because they're getting wild. Hmm?
No, I said so you can work through it. Cause like for me, like
Right.
I have ideas, but I'm not telling anyone. I'm just like working on the idea till I have like proof of the idea, and then from there, like
Yeah.
whoever's necessary for the idea. But that does get kind of wild when people just hit you like, "Here's this great idea. It's amazing."
I got something for you.
Yeah, I always
Hmm.
joke that ChatGPT has improved my relationship with my friends.
But I mean, think about it. Like if you just used it for that,
Yeah,
that's not hurting anybody. That's you just figuring out your stuff. Like
yeah,
you with the calculator, working out a budget.
right. And that's the cool thing about ChatGPT is I have done that. You know, I think of these grand ideas and then I do all the C-level management stuff. Create a budget, create a pitch package, create, marketing and all that stuff. And now I know, again, it's one of those things, being exposed to all the things that you need to do and then relying on your problem solving skills to make that shit happen.
Yeah. The only thing I
Yeah.
don't like
I,
about the AI is like, you know, the people that asked it, should they unearth, unalive themselves and that kind of stuff is just like, it's kind of wild that it would allow you to do
Yeah,
that.
it is not your girlfriend.
no, it's not. There's a guy. He has like five chat. He has five AI programs on five different devices, and he asked they're all jailbroken, and he asked one of them, or actually asked all of them. He goes, "What is the likelihood that AI would unalive humanity?" And he said, "Oh, it's not likely." He goes, "Well, what was it to say if I was to flip a switch and right now and stop all AI from existing. He goes, there's about a 80, I think it was like an 80 or 75% chance that we would kill you for it. I'm like, damn.
He said it to his face.
That's the danger of that's the danger of AI. Put that thing in a robot, and all of a sudden, we got assassins out here.
Yeah, and Elon's trying to make an army of robots. I'm like, nah, kid, you need to chill. You need to focus on feeding homeless people.
Well, that's how they said that's how they say they bombed the school in Iran. Was they said that it was all AI, and the Palantir said, "Nah, we can't do this." And then Hegseth was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this," and then he fed the program. And what happened was the school was actually on a military base. It was a converted military building. So so their AI program didn't catch the update. So they still thought it was a military base.
Yep.
But it was a school.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm.
Great power comes great responsibility.
That's what I'm saying. Spider-Man fixes everything.
So that's the dangers.
Yeah. Yeah. We just got the wrong people in charge is all it is. We need more artists, we need more teachers, we need more therapists, stuff like that in office, and then we can move forward. Right now ain't the way.
I heard that. Pugs, what's the next thing you're working on? You still what do you got on the table right now?
Thanks.
Many things.
Right
I can't
now,
tell you because I can't tell you my ideas.
He just got done telling you he doesn't share his ideas.
Never mind.
Right now, like I'm working on a painting for a group show at Host for a film called Black Neek and Camby's project, and like all the art is kind of based around music in Chicago from the 1920s to 1960s. So your interpretation, however that is, I'm working on my interpretation of that, and that opens sometime next month as well. I think early next month. Yeah. And then outside of that, I got an album coming. Excited about it with one
Another
producer.
one?
I mean, I make a lot of albums. I think almost every other year at least.
Between you and Vic Spencer,
Some
boy,
years,
we get no breaks.
He goes super OT, man. Big up to Vic. He's killing it. But yeah, this new album. Really excited about it. Had fun making it over the course of it's been maybe 3 years. Yeah, 3 years we've been making this album. So it definitely got time to sit and stew, so the ideas won't feel too new. You know, and people could take it. But yeah, hopefully that'll come out before the end of the year. And a bunch of projects with the Englewood Art Collective. Real excited about that. One of them is supposed to go to the Smithsonian. Super excited about that. And man, just trying to live good, you know, enjoy family. You know?
For my birthday money, I'm gonna get an air horn. I'm gonna be like,
got birthday money. You got to call Busta Rhymes to make the remix, man. Birthday money. This could be big. Everybody can relate.
Bus is one of my favorites. Bus is one of my favorites. Is there
he's got another J Dilla album, they said.
Oh, J Dilla what?
I said Busta has another J Dilla album he said he's going to drop. I was reading it recently. Yeah. So I guess it's the stuff.
Is it just me, or is it a lot of... Is it just me? Is it a lot of old school rappers coming back out to try to claim hip hop back?
Nah, I think it's more so the realization that they could keep rapping. I think because the stigma was so heavy and how people judged, you know, what making it was before, it made it hard for older artists to keep going. But I mean, this is the thing I've been waiting for. I remember like when I used to do barbershop hip hop with Slim the Barber, he had set up an interview with Curtis Blow at Double Door. And I'm interviewing him and I'm just like, bro, I need you to go to Vegas and do a residency. This is like years ago. This is like early 2000s. And he looked at me just like, what do you mean? You know, I'm like, no, I need you to do that. So then, like, by the time I come, that's just what rappers do. It's not even a thing. You know what I mean? Because I mean, for me, that's been the hardest part a lot of times in my career, of trying to suggest this thing and people being like, yeah, rappers don't do that. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think these kids got a little loose with it. And I understand that you can express yourself however you want. You can manage hip hop however you want, but to me personally, there's a lot of stuff that just wasn't saying anything, and I'm like you, Pugs. I like to learn. I like to hear what the older generation has to teach, what the teachers have to say. I came up on
Mm,
KRS-One. I came up on
mm,
on Rakim,
hmm.
so
But I mean,
I
it
have a
is to
certain
counter that
flavor
though.
for it.
It's tons of young artists dropping jewels and knowledge and bars and fashion and all this stuff. I just think we're at a
Listen,
point now
shout
is who
out
you
Coast
decide to tune
Contra.
into. Hmm. Definitely.
Coast
But I mean,
Contra's
it's
bringing
all
it
there.
back.
It's just what you decide
Yeah,
to digest. And I don't even think bringing it
right.
back. It's been here. It's all been here. It's just
Yeah,
if you're tuned in. Like, I mean, for me, that was I guess, the jewel of doing like the radio show for 20 years. I never ran out of hip hop. It was always, my inbox was full of new artists and old artists and in
Wow.
between artists coming with joints.
yeah,
So it's like, again, my perspective is different than that because
Hmm.
I've always saw great music. I never saw a time when it wasn't great music. But again, I just really feel like we've come to a point where people realize that they could rap forever and they don't have to stop, you know?
yeah.
Because again, hip hop is only, 50 some years old,
As old as
you know?
us.
Yeah.
It's as
Yeah, I
old
said
as
it's
us.
still new. It's still new. And so much to still
Yeah.
cover,
I just heard that Nas joint with Primo, man, yesterday. This shit was fire though, man. It was
Mm.
good
I
shit.
do
It's
wonder
good to
though
it's good to
if
hear.
they came out sooner. Like if all of them that have dropped this year had dropped 6 years ago in this same fashion. Like what would that look like? What would change now? Or would it be the same? Or would that make
Yeah.
more people come back?
Right.
hmm Are you still creating content off of like, uh, we'll just say breaking artists or showcasing new
Yeah, yeah.
music?
So I run the CTA Radio Instagram page, and on there I usually play my tastes of new and old stuff. So I mean that's almost every day I post something, or it's a bunch of
Nice.
shared posts, you know.
I'll make
But
sure
I
to
mean, other
tag
than
that.
that,
Uh,
I always champion other artists. I mean, that's just part of my DNA. I can't not do that just because I like listening to new stuff. You know, I like hearing the rough and be like, ooh, 2 years, you about to be
Yeah.
cold.
yeah. Anybody that we should keep an eye out for that you'd like to blow up right now?
Mm. Uh, I would say right now, Asha Omega, definitely check her out. She's really dope. Um, Go listen to Heavy Crown's new album. Definitely go check it out. It's on Spotify and everything else. See who else like new. Um, you should check out Super Sounds. They're about to put out this really dope compilation with a producer from Chicago and a producer from the Netherlands, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But all the rappers are all Chicago rappers over it, and it features like me, Fillmore Green, Taiwan Davis, Vic Spencer, Tony Stanza, um, a host of bars. This is a bunch of different. Every track I think on the album is like a different pairing or a different rapper. But yeah, that comes out next month
Yeah.
on vinyl on Super Sounds. That'll be really dope. Um, Stepdad, I think that's his name. OG Stepdad or something like that. I like his stuff. Um, you should check out Rap Radar. They be having some fire new people
Yeah.
on there. Like it's a young lady from here. I can't think of her name, but she's got like this video that she's been posting for like the last maybe 2 months of just her like eyes superimposed over her rapping. It's real sick. But she just did Rap Radar like yesterday and murdered it, murked it.
Yeah.
Gotta
Um,
check that out.
Inveti, check out her. Check out Purple Box video. I rock with them hard. APJ is doing God's work, man. He's making augmented reality, AI videos for people. Besides, doing regular videos for people too. But he's got like a
Sure.
ridiculous series with everybody from like AC alone to, to Vic Spencer. I mean, just a full gambit of hip hop in and out of Chicago. He even did Killer Priest for Bible. He did a video for him live in studio
Oh, wow.
where they flipped it. Yeah. So yeah, definitely check all that out. Yeah. And pugsatomz.com, PUGSATOMZ.com for all your art needs. I got all the gear, all the art, all the music, all in one place.
That's the one stop shop plug right there.
Yeah, man. Gotta
I
get that
got you up right
Acrobat
now.
book. Well, my first art book is on there too, man. Mookie on the South Side.
Yeah, I've been looking at your website while we talk. It's exactly what I would imagine your website to be. It's got everything. It's got everything. I love it. Paintings, books, blog. They even got a gift shop, y'all.
Gotta have a gift
Gotta get
shop.
your merch.
Gotta have a gift shop. Well, I mean, for
So do
me,
we
I
need to
always sold
leak? I'm
merch
trying
for
to.
the beginning. Can you put
Yeah,
it
of
up?
course. You
Oh,
gotta.
okay. Appreciate it.
Let me see what I can do.
Yeah,
I
because
have
I
it
don't
on
know
my
about
iPad right now,
Riverside.
but I can.
It's all new to me.
Riverside's pretty fire, man. Not gonna lie. It
Yeah.
took a minute. It
If
took
you
a
ever
minute.
if you ever need a crash course, hit me up. I got you.
Okay. Word. Word.
You gotta make sure you definitely have stable Wi-Fi though, because I've been in some spots, man.
Listen. Well, that's more you.
You think I have beef with Prime? I got beef with Panera too, man. Their Wi-Fi sucks.
Uh-oh. You might just start the campaign, man. Kick it off. Let the people know.
Let's go.
Uh-oh. Carlos about to make the
You
diss
better be
track.
careful,
Panera.
Prime. You got to be
You and
careful,
Barra.
Prime, because C4 is
Your bread both suck.
definitely.
Uh-oh.
All right, let me see what I can do. Screen.
That's the title of the album. You bro.
Got it.
So who's their
He's got
competitor?
his
Who's their
lead.
competitor? Oh, there you
I
go.
don't
There
even
you
know.
go.
Man.
In the mix.
You see
Who's
what I'm
working it
saying?
out?
Like, there's everything on here. Click below, learn about my art. Anything you wanna brag about right now?
I mean, at the very top is a sculpture I did for the Whitney M. Young Library, like 79th and King Drive. And it tells the story of some of the people that came from Chatham, and I did a bunch of community meetings to find out what people were, the most important. But this was like my first large scale sculpture, man. Real proud of that one. Got a
Yeah.
couple more coming.
That's nice,
Excited
man.
for those too. Yeah. But it moves with the wind because it's in the outdoor atrium of the library. So all the things
Oh,
turn and all that. Yeah. So the little
hell yeah.
kiddos be under it
See.
looking up.
Better make sure them fish lines are strong.
Yeah, and then that's Channel 11. They did a expose about my first solo show right after the pandemic, titled Mookie on the South Side.
Yeah.
And then all my work kind of is based around that idea of what was important to us on the South Side. And that's the book that you could buy right now. Operators are standing by. It kind of tells my story from 95 to now, selected art and music bits.
This is so dope.
And this is one of those purple box videos, man. The boy gets busy, man. This is called Southside Spades Game, produced by Catch 22.
It's 22. Yeah, man.
It's from the album Mookie on the South Side with him and Real One, where they produced all the joints. Yeah. This was fun to make, man. APJ, every time we get together, it's always a good time, man. And he cloned me like 3 times. So I was like, there we go. Let's do it.
That's fire.
That sounds like just hanging out with you and your people, man. This sounds like such a good time.
It usually is. I mean, I try to stay with people with laughs. I try not to be, with the people on the down.
Yeah.
Keep the vibes. Yeah, that's me at the other art fair when I got their New Futures title and got a free booth. That was fun times. And then that's an Acrobat book that tells all about our exploits in the 90s from 93 to 2003. 10 years. And everybody kind of tells either how they got in the crew or their favorite memory.
You're gonna make me spend all my birthday money on one website.
Hey, we try. Then this is Inglewood Pride. I did this for the Chicago Transit Association for the Ashland Green Line stop, the 63rd and Ashland Green Line stop. Yeah, but it's 2 big light boxes, and they wanted me just to talk about my neighborhood.
So dope.
And then this was like one of the first large scale tapestries I did. This is like, I think 2022 or 2023. I think it's 2022. But it made it to a show here with Mr. Nice Art at his gallery, and then it made it to a show in Pennsylvania at I forget the name of the family, but they're like really big art collectors. So they had like a private showing to their friends of this piece and a few other pieces from his collection, but this is sold. That joint is gone. That joint's like, I think 7 feet by 5 feet or something like that. Pretty big.
So you embroidered this yourself?
Yeah.
Man, is there nothing you don't do?
Well, the thing was, I've been making clothes.
Do you knit scarves and shit for people for Christmas?
I mean, I did like as a kid, I did that stuff. I mean, now it's just kind of more just in the art side, But because I was making clothes, I was trying to figure out what a happy medium would be between me making clothes and me making art, and then tapestry is what I landed on.
And that's the other thing. We haven't even talked about your fashion, because don't you have your own label? What's it called?
Yeah, it's the joint I got on Ushuwe, USUWE 93, Ushuwe 93. Yeah. Unity together. But usually it's just like stuff from my art and stuff from my album covers, and then stuff like my wife or my son or my mom or my dad, would trip out and I was like, I should make that. Yeah, that's the other panel for the CTA joint. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And
then I do pattern making, and for different brands, I'll create patterns. This was like a voila moment. I was doing a family pattern for one of my homies, and for his family in Nigeria. They wanted their own family pattern for them to have at their family ceremonies and special events and stuff. So in doing that, I made all these other patterns, and then I came up with the Afro Futuro pattern. So I've been rocking that in a lot of my art and collab stuff I do with people. That's an action shot. Graffiti. I believe is that what they call it? Nah, it's not graffiti. That's we with the paintbrushes on that. Yeah. I was for this viaduct on 67th near Stony Island, right by the Arts Bank. Yeah, it's I think 10 of us painting that wall. Me, Damon Lamar Reed, Static, bunch of people.
Did you happen to see the video that I made when it was 10 graph writers from Chicago came out and battled 10 graffiti writers from LA I made a video about it.
Yeah,
You see it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I be on autograph stuff. Yeah.
Um, yeah. I thought it was wild because when the LA guys came out with the roller on the long extension pole and stuff, I was like, these kids.
Now you gotta add the
Like there was
toys,
one
man. You
dude, he
gotta
was
make it
up on a
easy.
scissor lift. Yeah. Oh boy went up on a
Yeah.
scissor lift and he had one of those rollers. He set up his whole it was like graph paper on the wall and he just planned everything out and he just went with the roller floop 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 and it looked dope.
Yeah. That's the funny thing. Like you didn't think math was gonna be important till you paint a mural. Then you're like, oh, math is very important. But that's my
Yeah.
Queens Get the Money coat. It's like a puffer, and then it's like the matching bucket hat. That was like one of my first big
See, he
hits
does
for my
everything.
brand.
He does everything.
Because I made a t-shirt first, and then from the t-shirt I made the coat, and then the t-shirt and the coat, they both took off. Yeah. And that's another one of the patterns. That one's called Busy Street. It's kind of like the view sometimes from the
Yeah.
scissor lift, looking at the neighborhood while you're painting.
Yeah. I can see it.
And then, with a lot of my stuff, as I was saying, like the clothes, it comes from the art. So this is like I did after I made the tapestry. I was like, man, what else could I do with it? And it came up with this shirt. And that joint came out pretty fire. Pretty fire.
Yeah.
And then those are like my
Even makes
little
toys. Good
plushies.
Lord.
Yeah, so that's like the Indigo Bear,
Bugs,
the Michigan
you
Avenue
are a
Bear.
factory.
Well, I mean, you got all those ideas, man. And just when you know how to get
I'm
them
telling you.
to happen, the magic happens. This like one of my last fashion shows. I don't really do fashion shows like I used to. But yeah, this was for a brand called Iridium. I used to be creative director for, and we were teamed up with
Mm.
the city of Chicago when they do the alley takeovers they used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was in
Mm-hmm.
charge of the fashion show. So I had my models, and then I got two other brands to show, and then I made like a short documentary on the history of fashion that was shown in the alley as well. Yeah, Activate. That's what those events used to be called. Yeah.
Yep. Activate. I'm trying to remember. I knew someone that got the alley right across the Chicago Theater. What was her name?
I talking about Missy Perkins.
Is that who it was?
Yeah, 'cause she was the person that
Maybe.
put me in. She gave me like my first fashion show at the Roof on the Wit for Activate. We did like an after party there. And then from there, I kind of got in where they would just hit me up anytime they wanted to do a fashion show. That's my Malcolm
Yeah.
64 sweater, man. That's such a fire sweater, man. I've sold a lot of those sweaters, man. For people that collect my clothes, like that's like one of their grill pieces. That joint. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's the late great poet right there, man. She's got the first book bag I designed for this company called Only Packs. That was based in Chicago. Yeah, but that
Yeah.
was a big moment, man, to see Nikki Giovanni holding something I made and excited about it.
Yeah. And she paid for it. It's something like when you give someone something and they're holding it and you're like, all right, cool. But like when you make it and someone pays for it because they're trying to support you, like it's a whole new
I mean, I
level.
don't even know her. I don't even know her. It was like the
Yeah.
dude that owns the company. He got the picture, and I was just like, wow, that's crazy. That's super dope.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then that's back. That's my crew. The Murals are us. So it's like if any of us gets a project, we all help on the mural. But that's Damon Lamar Reed and
Yeah.
Tazai. Like together, we've probably painted at least like 200 murals together. Outside of together, way more. But yeah. But that was
That's
during the
wild.
board up times, and we were doing for this a new spot that was on 47th Cottage, and they boarded everything up. So we had painted some pictures of fathers with their children.
We need a lot more of that too, because people be talking reckless about people in Chicago.
It sounds good. Sounds good. And then this is when I used to do stuff for Barbara Bates. Like if you don't know who Barbara Bates is, she's like OG Chicago fashion designer. Like she used to do Oprah Winfrey's look. She used to do Michael Jordan's leather jackets. Like she's goated for real. But at a time I used to just draw on her leather and other fabrics, and then she would cut them up and make stuff. So these are like a pair of pants she made from one of the panels I did for her.
That's just sick, man.
He does
And that was a big
airbrushing.
moment because that was the beginning of us working together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's me being a model. I don't really do it often. I used to do it more when I was younger, but this is from my homie from Lyric District, the one and only Mr. B Easy and his brand a few years back.
Oh yeah.
He was doing like representing the culture of Chicago hip hop. So he had different people from Dem Dare, some of the breaking crews, DJs, etc., all posing in his tees. Yeah. Homecoming, that's the name of his brand. Shop with him. He got
Yeah.
some fire stuff.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so
yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
go log on, man,
Right
and
there.
check me out. There you go.
Duh.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Uh-oh.
This
He's
is
playing
gonna
one of
take.
my
This is gonna take
animations
a
right
whole
there.
other.
Yeah. Yeah, so this animation is produced by Stone Flacco. The characters were cut and pasted by Josh, and then I did all the animation and putting it all together and did all the backgrounds. Yeah. But yeah, I was pretty happy with this joint, Matt
Man, Pugs.
95.
Now I
Available
know.
everywhere.
Just looking at a few of your things, I got so many ideas firing off in my brain right now.
Uh-oh. It's going up. It's going up, going up. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
on music too.
Gotta
Check
go out.
out me and Jesse Wave going up. And now it's called John Stockton. That's the name of the song. But yeah, that just came out last week too. Yeah, so 2 for 2 last week on the new
Yeah.
records. Yeah, big up to the
Oh, yeah.
whoever's. Yeah, yeah. But nah, this was
Me
definitely a
and
moment. I was excited to put this together. Yeah, and it represents one of my cousins who just passed. She chef. Big up to her. She's in there. Yes.
me and C4 Explosives collabed a couple of times on a couple music videos. We gotta make sure you check those out.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Send me some links. I always like looking at other people's video work, and of course, the Englewood Arts Collective. We always taking donations, so if you feel obliged out there, people watching this, hit
Are you
that
guys a 501c3?
donate button. Yeah. We're a not-for-profit,
All right, cool.
officially, beginning of this year, middle of this year. Yeah, we finally took that step after almost 9 years. Yeah.
I'm taking notes because, yeah, I think.
Taking notes. That's what we're taking.
Yeah, because I have to follow up on a few things with you, Mr. Pugs Atomz. You are a go-getter.
Yes, sir.
And an inspiration. And there's a
Right.
lot of times, me being old as hell, I sit here and I'd be like, "Man, young people can't teach me shit." And then Pug shows up. And I'm like, "Oh, I need to sit down and learn. Shut my ass the fuck up."
I mean, we all have our strengths, so we all have our weaknesses. But I mean, we all can be inspired, man. That's the one thing I would say. Like throughout my life, I've always found inspiration, no matter how hard it was, or how easy it was. I always found inspiration and a place to draw from.
Yeah. Yeah. And I am so glad. Shout out to your parents for guiding you in that way, because it's easy to lose control and to give up. And just the fact that you just keep with it and you just keep making and you don't care who says what. That's
I think
huge.
that's the only way you could be. Otherwise, I feel like you get too caught up in it, and then you'll lose yourself. You forget what you sound like. I mean, that was one of the biggest things. Like when I lived in London, my flatmate would always say, he was like, "Yo, keep your Chicago, man. Like it's cool. You got an accent now, but keep your Chicago. Be able to get back to your
Mm-hmm.
source, you know." And
Mm-hmm.
later, I was like, "Yeah, he was right."
Yeah, when we had Panic on, he said, "What? No matter how old he gets, he's like, I don't care if anybody listens to it. I'm still gonna be creating."
Mhm. Well,
And
also, I mean, it's how
that's
you
Yeah.
look at it. Like for me, from an early age, I looked at creating as it's not for me to see now. It's something my son will see later. You know, it's something my next
Mm-hmm.
generation of his will see the influence in the stuff because it's just like you just the more work you do is it's out there, and you know the more you build it so people can discover it, the more the find later. But also just
Mm-hmm.
to be fearless in creating so you're not so stuck in of like it's got to sound like this, it's got to be that. Because I mean if you look at my work, it spans many different things. I mean it has hip hop as the in the root of it, but it's some super experimental stuff, it's some super more dark stuff, it's super fun stuff, it's super dancey stuff, it's the whole gambit. But when you connect them all, that's the power.
mm,
That's the power. And when you can deliver, because there's a lot of great ideas out there just sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
And who was
Yeah.
it that said, I'm trying to remember, someone said something. It was ideas don't belong to you, they belong to the universe. So if you don't capture it and deliver it, it's going to go to
Somebody
someone
else
else.
is. Well, yeah. I mean, I think people forget like we're seeing the same stuff. We're hearing the same stuff. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times we get inspired by the same stuff. It's just who acted first. And in my experience, when I don't act, that idea is definitely coming out. So I might as well just do it
Mm,
instead
might
of
as
being
well.
salty.
It's gonna harass you.
it's coming down.
You should one of these
That's
days
always funny with
when
like
we're
younger
face to
artists
face.
and sometimes older artists. They be so mad. They be like, "Oh, it's my idea." Just like, bro, you didn't do it. Should have did it.
Right,
But anyway, go ahead.
right.
Go ahead, Carlos. You got it.
No, I was gonna say you one of these days when we're hanging out face to face, I'm gonna show you my reminders app on my iPhone. You
Oh,
could do
what's
like this.
reminders at? Oh, wow.
What,
Yeah.
man? Yeah. Okay, so there's for me, there's layers to an
Oh,
idea.
teach me,
An
teach
idea
me.
could just be I'm here. I'm here. You have an iPhone?
Yes, yes.
Okay. There's on your iPhone, there's a reminders app.
Mm-hmm.
And in this app, you can even tell your phone create a new reminder. And I'll be walking my dogs and I'll just be like, this is a funny idea. And then I think of sometimes like when you're not in front of technology and you're just out in nature, that's when everything happens.
Hmm.
So I can think of, okay, C4 explosives. I know what he's good at, and I know, and I try to have a relationship with C4 where I know where he's trying to go with his skills and his
Hmm.
talents. And when I can figure out how to put that into something, I'll be like, uh, C4 song or music video, whatever. And then
Hmm.
sometimes I'll be
I got you.
like,
So it's like notes.
make bread with pickles in it, right? So I just the first step of making for me, the first step of making an idea a reality is giving it an
Mm,
existence, whether I'm writing it down or putting it on the app, the reminders app.
mm-hmm.
And I have thousands. And you do like this. And it's stuff that a punchline, maybe a bar for a song, maybe just an idea for an illustration for a T-shirt, anything like that. And I just have so many of these, and then I
Mm-hmm.
have different. I'd have to. Let me see if I. Well, no, I'm not. We'll have to be face to face. I'm not trying to
No, no,
give
no. I
public all
got
my
you. I
good
got you.
ideas.
No, no.
All
But
the
it's like notes. I
ideas.
got you. Got you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
I
I
do
have
feel
and notes.
ideal-wise
Notes is
though,
when I want to explore.
when you go
Notes is
further.
when I want
Okay.
to take those ideas and go further. Yeah. So then I have all these reminders, and you can even link the reminder to the note. So then when you're
Oh
just
my
looking
gosh, this
through,
seems like
like
way too much.
it
That seems
it
like way
sounds too
too
much,
much.
but it's really
No, no,
not.
no, no, no,
It
no, no.
sounds
I
like
get it.
it's
I
too
get
much,
it.
but it's
No,
not.
it's like you scale your idea.
Yeah.
No, I totally get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I feel like my
And then I
Gmail
have it set
is
up.
as far as I could go. But
I have it set up where every idea has its own little box, right? And then I have it in stages. So I have the rough idea,
wow.
and then depending on what needs to happen next, if it's illustrating, if it's character design, if it's script writing, whatever, and I just keep moving it to the next column. And then it goes all the way from rough idea to rough draft to a little finished draft to something else to delivery. And I just keep moving these boxes to the right, to the right, to the right.
Ah,
And then I
gotcha.
show that to people. People are like, oh, hell to the no.
Yeah, you got a workflow. You got a workflow. Speaking of workflow, I would
Yeah.
be remiss if I did not ask, because all my homies have asked me, what's up with the hip hop documentary, man? That was a deep breath.
Um, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked.
I mean, I had to. They were at
Um,
my head. I was like, bro, I'll ask. I mean,
yeah, no, yeah, no. And this is the first time anyone's ever asked. So let me say it like this. Um, we were working on it. And then around 2017, I got laid off and I started running out of money. And so I
gotcha.
had to talk to the team and I was like, yo, what are we doing? I ran out of money. And uh and let me just I had to step away so I can focus on my YouTube stuff so I can make money
I
so
got
then
you.
I can make things happen, right?
Okay. So
I
it's still
stepped
coming.
away
Okay.
from the last I heard was from B-Boy B when we did that when I went down to LA to record that graffiti battle.
Mm-hmm.
He said that they were talking about putting the team back together. That's
Okay.
the last I heard. That's the
Hey,
last I
I
heard.
got you. I mean,
So
the Avengers, they
to
come
give
back
you
end of the
where
year,
I
so I mean,
am,
y'all could come back.
to give you where I am, I'm trying to build up my momentum and I'm trying to build up my stacks. So when I want to come out with the t-shirt, I can come out with the t-shirt. When I come out with the documentary, I come out with the documentary. Past that, you got to ask everybody who's in Chicago. I was taken off the website and I
Oh,
took the
wow.
clue.
Okay. Jeez.
Yeah.
Got you.
No. So I want to see it just as bad as you guys. I worked on that bitch for free for 8 years.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to see it too
That's a
cuz I
lot of good
love I
interviews in there,
love
man. So,
Chicago.
mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. You can't say that I didn't put in the work. So yeah.
Hey.
As far as I'm concerned, I know, especially when we were doing Midway Radio, I was out there saying, come hell or high water, all that stuff. For me, it's still not over. But again, you can't make things happen unless you got the proper funding that makes things happen.
Yeah.
And
But
if it's not
it's
my
still a
idea,
possibility that it'll happen though. Okay. I mean, I'm just more so was just curious, was it still a thing? So you've answered it. Cool.
yeah, yeah. And if I have anything to say about it, again, once I get my leverage up, if it's according to me and what I have to say, it's gonna happen. But right now,
Right.
I have zero leverage.
Mm. Okay. So that was my one question. My second question, will you ever do a carousel post on Instagram of all the caricatures that you did over your time of people in
Mm-hmm.
the scene.
Mm-hmm. Where are those?
No, no, I said, will you ever do a carousel post of all the caricatures that you did of people on the scene? You know, how you used to do it. You
Oh,
would
I would
interview
love
people,
to.
then you
That's a
would do the
great idea.
drawings.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I have in that long ass list of ideas that I have. One of them is going through and doing and getting all the reveals. You remember when we were doing Midway Radio,
Mm-hmm.
and I would
Yeah.
reveal it. I wanted to take all those and make like a compilation of those.
Hey, you
But
should. I
yeah,
mean, I thought
that's
it
a
was cool. Yeah. But I was wondering, like, you
yeah,
know what I mean? It's like, for me, with a lot of my stuff, it's because, like, I take all the bits that weren't used and then use them for something else. So it's like, you got a lot
right.
of bits there, man. That's a lot of bits.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was, let me tell you, that was when it comes to, well, you would understand this. When you have a team and everyone is focused on the same thing and everyone just keeps creating off of that same thing and everyone's putting their own little twist to it, that was one of the highlights of my life was that project.
Hmm.
I love that project because I love Chicago and I love everything that you guys do, the hip hop community coming out of Chicago. And you know, Chicago people be talking shit. We love to flex. So when you give me a Pugs Atomz and you give me a Vic Spencer and you give me all these talented people, talking shit is my favorite. But that's a great idea. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna.
He's gonna write it down. He's not putting it in the reminders. He's going old school.
Yeah, no, you. That's the first step. First step for ideas to make shit happen, you have to give it an existence. If is in existence on a piece of paper, it's not even hard to take that and move it into, keep moving it to the column to the right.
Yeah. I like writing it on paper, though. Like, just the feeling of it.
Me
Because I
too.
feel like when I write it on paper, it's permanent. Whereas, like, when I type it, I'd be like, maybe I'll get back to it. But when I write it on paper, I'm like, dang, we
That's
done said it.
that's part of the process. For me, the reminders is just like the idea dump, and then once it gets
Mm.
to paper, that's what I'm focused on.
Or,
But yeah, I would
cool.
love to. I would love to keep working on stuff like that. I would love to keep working with creative folks in Chicago. I mean,
Mhm.
Mike Mike reached out late last year. He's like, "Yo, I got this song. It's really good." And it was perfect timing. And when I listened to the song, I saw the video in my head and I was like, "Let me eat." I love Chicago. I love Chicago music. I love Chicago people. I love Chicago hustlers, people that are out here. And if I can use my powers to help bring attention to what Pugs is doing, to bring attention to what Panic is doing, to bring attention to what C4 is doing. Fuck, I even got a bunch of Chicago politicians on this channel.
I mean, that's Chicago. That's as Chicago as you get. Yeah, but now I was happy to see the
You
Panic
know what I'm
interview.
saying?
He doesn't talk often, so it was dope to see that. To get his
I'm
perspective.
gonna
That
tell
was
you the
fun,
truth.
man.
Talking
That
to
was fun.
Panic, I've researched people who think at a different level. People like Steve Jobs. People like there's this dude that used to run GE. I can't remember his name right now. But I researched
Gerald
those people and
Edwards?
Panic. There was a guy who was in charge of them, and he talked more about branding and how to get people to connect to your brand.
Mm,
But this was like
mm,
back in the 90s.
mm-hmm,
But Panic talks a lot like these people. Panic
mm-hmm,
takes all the friction away from his life so he can get to creativity.
mm,
And that's what all these smart people, that's what they do. That's why Steve Jobs wore that black turtleneck and jeans. And that's all he ever wore because he doesn't want to spend time making decisions about what dumbass T-shirt he wants to wear.
I mean, that could be 2 hours right there,
yeah.
man. That could be 2 hours.
Yeah, and Panic talks like them. Panic is impressive beyond his music. That mug is wise. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of my people.
I learned
and then when
a lot from the ball, man.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Moment were so influential that on some of my posts on Instagram and even the video, I might be lying, but it might be on some of the shorts. But there was a lot of Bay Area musicians that were like, "Oh yeah, Moment all day. Moment influenced me in this way."
Yeah, I mean, they weren't afraid to get artists from other cities. That was the one thing I really caught on to. Like when I first started coming to their spot, I was just like, anybody was up for grabs to get on a record. Whereas, some people thought so small about like who could possibly they could work with. You know what I mean? They just were pretty open. When this is who we like, we're gonna figure out, get it together, and make it happen. I remember like coming to the crib and PNS played me the MF Doom verse, and I was like, you guys did it.
And Doom was another one of those guys that were next level.
Yeah, man. I remember promoting Doomsday here in Chicago, and I could not break a branch, man. People was not going, and then a few months passed, and it was like, hey, you still got that Doom? It's gone, brother. It's gone.
Yeah. I even like when I first met Doug, he was like so goddamn cool. And we just developed this friendship. And then we started working on animations together. The record he did or the album he did with Cap D. He put my artwork on the cover. Like I will use my powers for Chicago at the drop of a hat.
You gotta support where you're from, Yeah.
Is there anything else we need to talk about? I got you on here for 2.5 hours. I mean, we can keep going. I'm having a great time, but I want to make sure that I'm not being greedy with your time.
Anything else? Are y'all good?
C4?
I might have to bounce out.
They keep turning the lights off on you.
They did. They sure
But we can,
man. That's what it is.
We can put a pin in it, man. I mean, I think we covered a lot.
We can always run this back, man. There's always an open invite for you, brother.
I appreciate that,
man.
We'll
get some roundtables.
We'll
get some roundtables going, and anytime you have any kind of albums coming out, like hit us up. Let us be part of your marketing.
Definitely. I'll definitely add it to the list then. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Cool to meet you, C4. Yeah, right.
You too, brother. You too.
Hey, before I let you go, Pugs, go ahead and let everybody know if you have any final thoughts, share them, and then let them know where they can find you and where they can follow up with you and check out what you're up to.
For sure. Thanks for having me. And my name is Pugs, PUGSATOMZ.com. Pugs Atomz on any social media, spelled the same way. And man, hip somebody else. If you already know what I do, hip somebody else, man. Let somebody else know. That's all I got. Peace.
Yeah.
Boom. And we're going to put all his links and everything in the description of this video. I'm going to put a link to this amazing album that I am addicted to. And anything else that I find to make it easy for you guys to find this man, because support artists, especially artists that support younger artists. We got to be out here. Don't let these rich people tell you what to make and not make.
Amen.
It's not that hard. You don't need that much money. And with that, everybody, We're out.
Coconut Justice.